Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today?
Hello, Mario. You're very quiet.
Is that better?
Yeah. Mario, did you get my radio message?
I did. I have sent one back, but it hasn't been sent yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh no, what's gone from my kit? Oh, it'd be the, I guess I've got to not use an M16 anymore.
Yeah.
Man.
These new rounds kick ass.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm think the gun's very cool. I just don't like how it looks. But
Kinda
that's a
looks like
skill
Nerf
issue
gun.
on my part. Which one is it? Does it matter which?
It's the 6.8
Not
one.
the 5.56 one.
Yeah, the 6.8 one.
Yeah, I get what you mean, Meryl. It's probably gonna be the only time I agree with you on guns. I
It's
think
just
it
not
kind of
my type.
just looks a lot like a Nerf gun to me.
Yeah. I like mostly retro guns. What's it under in the thing?
It's in the Rough Riders mod pack, I
MCX
think.
Spear Black.
Oh, it's the cane break. At
Ah,
least
okay.
that's what I have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then there's the 5.56 ones as well, but yeah.
Yeah, the LTs.
What's the Virtus? Oh, yeah, rather. Man, it's a big ass gun.
Yeah, I think it'd help if it like some of the chunkier parts of it were just smaller,
Yeah.
like the barrel shroud and stuff.
I know what you mean when you say Nerf gun.
It just
Good
reminds
thing
me
it's
of
not yellow.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like the fucking like the Scar H Fortnite Nerf gun.
I just like more retro-y looking rifles.
It's the guy from Fortnite.
John Wick.
Does it matter which suppressor?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just
Or
different
Darth
colours.
Vader. Or Indiana Jones.
Or
Thanos.
Optimus Prime.
Mr. Beast.
Hello, Buckeye.
Hello.
How does it look when I have a grip pod?
I got the grip pod on. If you want to look over at my guy, he's actually grabbing it.
Oof.
Who's guy?
Grip pod
Mine.
superiority. Both me and Chuck.
I think
are
a
on
lot
that.
of us
yeah,
have the
that's
grip pod.
okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
The fucking C-clamp
I'm impressed
grips.
that he
That's
actually
like
fucking
that's
uses
the
it.
arm stretcher right there.
How do you turn? Oh, this is.
Chris, your arm
oh,
is like
never mind.
dislocated.
Holy cow.
As it should be.
Oh, I changed my. I did change, yeah. I changed my face model to someone whose beard was less scraggly.
Oh, Buckeye, I fixed my name.
Oh, you fixed it.
Yeah, last night or the other night, in my haste to load back in with the correct name, I accidentally put check, as in like the word check, off.
Why would you not run the 25 round mags?
So
They look exactly the same.
There's no
I think-
difference in weight per round, really.
I think like me and
Yo,
Nobu
what the
were
fuck?
talking, like compared to our
Scotland
30 round
forever?
5.56
Is in the mod
mags,
pack?
the weight is like difference by like
Fucking face.
0.4 pounds
It's point
or
oh, it's
0.04.
0.04
What?
pounds different, yeah,
What?
than the Mark 262 mags.
What the
I
hell?
guess we
Fucking
should be
Scotland
running no
forever.
traces.
You're beautiful.
Follow my tracers.
In
Tracers, be a man.
I'm gonna take. Oh man, I've got to have the grenade launcher and the spectrum device in my kit. How does that work?
Full
One in your
Spectrum.
backpack.
Not carrying that retarded ass Spectrum device.
What, you don't want to beam drones out of the sky?
No, I really don't give a shit.
That's someone else's
I hate
problem, not mine.
Spectrum.
I'll just keep it in the air.
I'm on the spectrum.
That you are. We all are.
Holy shit,
I
Kaiser.
really am not. Fuck all of you.
Kaiser, your fucking model was broken. Until you changed your uniform. Yeah, your like patch was like coloring your entire uniform.
Oh, we've got new vests.
Did we?
MBAB, new MBABs, yeah. It's stuff that we didn't used to have. So it's in different camos.
Does it have anything that would go well with the fucking 6.8 magazines?
No, it's no different models. It's just different camos.
Fashionistas, I tell you.
Is there not like a rifle attachment that has a visible laser?
There is.
There is.
Why do you want a laser pointer?
You just have to. I think it's like Control L or something like that to cycle
Oh, is it Control L?
through. Maybe.
start it.
Which one? The Rough Riders one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Control
The
L
Rough
gives
Riders
you
and
red,
Heck.
red laser, green
Wait.
laser, normal flashlight, and flashlight strong.
But is it only IR or is it like?
No,
There's IR
it's all
and
three.
visual.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah, if you
confused
get
because it
the-
said.
Press
The
Control to
flashlight
switch 'em.
combo,
You
you'll
can
have the
press L to
flashlight
turn 'em
as an
on.
option too.
The fucking strong flashlight too. is
Oh, I
fucking
see. I
insane.
see.
It is. I
Oh,
really
you're-
want to go
Do
through
you
the
like
building
do you like your
and
cat laser,
turn it on
Terry?
when it's dark.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get it. I gotta get it.
Well, I actually noticed as good as this thing, like this thing is a beast in hip firing. So why not have a little laser just in case?
Pretty much, right?
I think I'm just gonna cope. My magazines are covered up with Velcro patches anyway, so I'll just have to believe they fit.
You could always learn how to model, Muriel.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, that flashlight doesn't fuck around.
Alright, let me go to my.
I just don't like any of the ones that aren't black. I think the FDE and the tan look.
I am a little
Plasticky.
disappointed that it does not have epilepsy mode.
Hmm.
I feel like that would be tactically benefiting to blind our adversaries.
Blind yourself too.
Oh, Zena,
Facts. Yeah.
I just confirmed I'm going to go tour the fucking Steiger, the Case Steiger fucking factory up in Fargo.
Ooh.
Get to see their newest line of tractors that they're coming out with.
Damn. You know, what more could they add to tractors at this point? I feel like they're
Very.
already very
Smart.
futuristic as it is.
More wheels.
They're
Look at my
heading
fanny
like,
pack.
100
I
horsepower.
see that. Very manly.
They're coming
Yeah,
out with a
open
size
it and
that's
see what's in
bigger
there.
than what their
Not a
biggest
sexual
size
joke.
is now.
God.
So,
Yo, the whole how'd that fit? How'd that fit in there?
they could get somewhere between
How'd that in there?
850 to 900 horsepower.
Yo,
It's
is
my
it
black hole
is it
fanny
heating
pack.
the tikka masala? It's heating it up.
Like,
You shoot it a little, get it nice and warm, then you put it against the pouch of
Is that
chicken.
right? Like, electric.
Still experiment.
That would be an interesting concept. Like,
That's the
I
prison
hate the
bucket.
sight you have.
It is.
good section
Stay
off a bit
strapped.
of your
Thank
farm
you.
for a solar field,
Yeah.
and you
I got
basically
this in my
run out of
pocket.
gas again.
I did it
Yeah,
just
me
for you.
too.
You
Whoa.
wonder how it fits in my little holster.
On all of our farms.
I don't even
So-
have a holster. Bro.
Oh yeah, wait,
Yeah,
I don't
but
either. I thought I
your
did.
use, Or are you able to like?
I thought my uniform had a
sell
battle
that
belt.
energy?
Guess
That
not.
Battle
$10
belts
a month
are for
for our
lamos.
electric bill after the credit
Yeah,
that
that's
we
why I
get
brought
from
the
solar
the
field.
fanny pack.
Dude, I wish I
Yeah.
could use this shotgun on my
I know
back.
there's things where you can like get
It'd be
credit
so
for
cool.
Yeah,
doing
that's
that.
fucking
Oh yeah,
you,
just
big
whip it
racket.
out,
I know,
breach a
right?
door.
I
Well, our
wish
fucking
I
electric
didn't have to
company is
carry
pissed
this.
off that they have to buy
Why
it
did
from
they
us.
not put an integrated grenade
'Cause it's
launcher in this
heavy.
weapon system?
Like the gun's already
Honestly,
super
to
heavy.
be honest,
Right.
I've heard that people, like actual like servicemen, prefer to not have it on their gun. And I can only imagine it's because it makes the gun very front heavy.
They tried
I
to
get
I
that,
guess so.
but I'm also playing a game.
Service
Yeah.
But I also
how much
like,
heavier? What's the difference
the gun's
between
heavy.
the 320 and the 203 weight was?
that I
About
don't
3
know.
pounds.
legal precedent
What,
requires
in
that.
320
well.
is
They got
lighter than the
banned.
203, I believe.
Sure.
Really?
Well,
Quite a
I feel
bit.
Is,
like it's
is
still
the 320
somewhat
like
of a thing.
polymer?
I'm sure they'll buff it
Well,
out.
the 320 is just a smaller tube length, isn't it? Like the
I don't know.
203
I
is
always
like a
thought
long,
that
like it's
concept
like
was
the entire
interesting.
length of
Yeah.
a
If I
six
were
of a
to
16-inch
build my own
barrel.
house,
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
would
I kind
consider
of think
putting,
of
like,
it
a
as
section
like
of
more
my roof
gubbins
as,
though,
like,
because
solar
it's
panels.
physically bigger.
So we've
Yeah.
got a 40 kilowatt
Well, it could be thinner.
array.
Yeah,
I mean, you think it's bigger.
that
It
powers
has a
your
stock.
house and everything pretty
that's
well.
true.
The
Well,
stock.
not
No,
when you
we
put it
don't
on the
have to answer
rifle.
the thing. We just sell our electricity to the power company.
Oh,
Also
you're
hurts
on-
me that
you're
you
on
have the
grid.
stock, but you're not
okay,
using
okay,
it.
okay. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to dig at first.
That's the hit me
Okay,
in the fucking
interesting.
face pad.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the
Yeah.
Tesla
Stock.
like home grid type deal where it
Yeah.
is connected to
It's
the grid,
the face massager.
but it's only in the event of like emergencies and shit.
I'll
like
never
that,
forget,
you could
like,
bring power
young
to it.
Terry, first
Otherwise,
time he ever shot a
you could
big
provide
rifle,
power.
didn't
Also,
seat
you
the
know,
rifle right into
Well,
his
the thing
shoulder
is,
and hit
like,
himself in the glasses with a
The
scope. Yeah,
Yeah.
You'd have to put in a
Felt
massive
great.
battery bank.
you learned
I
quick.
saw there was like a
And
there's like this
during the
chick.
winter,
There's like
you
a photograph
get,
of this chick. It was actually like
half
apparently
or a
service
third
some other
of
country. I
the
forget
power
which one.
generation we do during
She wasn't like
non-winter months.
using the stock,
Well,
and she
that's
had
what,
her
like, Tesla
eye
does,
up the
still hooked
scope.
to the grid.
No
You'll
way.
have your battery.
On the upside,
If I had been
if I
wearing
had
like
to
my
take
sunglasses
this-
though, it would have
I
like
don't know if
bruised my eye so bad.
Let me see if I can find the
It's
If
photo.
I have to take
emergencies,
this,
or
it
if it's,
means
like,
I
during
don't
the
have to
winter, you'd
take
be
an
like, yep.
entrenching tool.
Power company.
Why?
Send me some
Oh,
fucking
sure.
power.
Bruh.
Got a good point.
Be cool though.
I will use
That's
this
the cool thing.
multi-million
Pay
dollar
itself
piece
at
of
some
high-tech
point, I
equipment to dig a
Ours
hole.
is already paid off.
I
That's
really
what's
doubt
up.
it's more than $1 million.
And the fact that you
Wait,
can
did we
Probably
get like
10K at
the
best.
so interesting.
the sling thing
I
back?
don't know.
Dog?
Hmm?
Like I can't imagine.
I thought we
making
couldn't do
it
that
too
anymore.
Crazy.
Nah,
Nope,
the
we
mod
haven't had
works
to do
though.
hardly any.
What's
Yeah, you
the
probably
key?
have
It's
to
been
turn
so long.
the
What's the key
cameras
on it?
off maybe like once every couple months or something
Control
like that.
3.
We
Control
had to
3?
replace one.
Yeah, it doesn't
by
work for
by
me.
the snowblower.
Mm.
I'll send you a link. You can just.
Only
Oh,
thing
wait,
I
is it
could
client
think would be,
side?
Like hail or
Ah, here
something
it is,
like that.
Terry.
Oh.
I'll
Well,
put
that
it on
explains why it
text
doesn't work
voice.
for me.
We've had pretty good luck with that.
Yeah,
Let's look at this.
Stuff like
no
that.
doubt.
Maybe she's
I've
not
seen
actually
other places
service,
that have
but
had some hail damage and stuff like that, but I haven't seen anything
Like-
up here
hang on. I'm struggling
or down
to upload
here.
it. Cool.
You sent something to me the other day and like off topic, and I replied with like a TikTok, but it took so long to upload. Like it wasn't even funny anymore by the time it uploaded.
Oh, gotcha.
Hmm.
There you go in
Well,
text
yeah,
voice.
but I'm talking about
That's
something where it's
painful to
like
look at.
You
They're
have them
like-
in some.
Like long array.
Have you seen the reels I sent you today?
Got two.
No, I've been
we got
busy
two
today.
20
Let's see.
kilowatt arrays.
Oh, yikes.
You just need to buy more, create a monopoly on the power grid. in
4
your
new
town,
reels, in fact.
and then that's how
What?
you'll rise to power.
True. I like it. I
But
also
yeah,
love
both
Michael
of us aren't
Hearn.
on the same company as we are.
Oh, got him.
I'm not saying that's true of me, but I do appreciate it.
The only thing I'm fucking is retarded.
Can we get a Red Bull cap?
not until we
racing.
get the Newports reskin, Dawa.
Bitch, I'm working.
Back.
I'm in the Turkish military industrial complex now.
No, Daryl, no.
So
Also the
painkillers
dad
is
one.
just Newports.
that one is so accurate.
That would be cool if
Not
they
so
did
much
one
anymore for
for
me,
winter
but
long
still,
range or some
like,
shit like that.
Yeah.
it's still
Like-
like the feeling. You're like, oh, even though you
Yeah,
did
that,
nothing
like
wrong.
I still have that same like feeling. Like the only time
Fucking
he would
figure
call
it out.
me is
gotta make
if
time.
I'm like if I fucked up or if he needs me
It
for something.
needs something.
Yeah.
Me living across the street from my parents is, I love it,
Take a
but
full-time
also like
position with
at
no
any
finance,
moment, my
you won't get
dad
paid.
will literally come up to my front door and knock on it and be like, "Hey, I need you to come over to the
To
house."
be a,
Like,
to be a code
please.
monkey for the rest of your life.
I'm lucky that I'm like a 10-minute drive away, 15. But still, there are times where he just, hey, I need you to help me.
You don't get health
You guys
insurance
don't
but
live
you
at
For
still
some
home.
have to
intense
pay
yard
to
work with the
have
fucking
health
push
insurance.
mower. I hate that shit. I'm getting them a fucking little like one that you can ride.
Ride mower? Yeah.
Yeah, for like
Oh,
Christmas
well,
or New Year.
Can't have that when you work.
I can't imagine. Like, pretty much all around where we live is riding mowers. Maybe like some of the city like suburbs will have like
did you hear that
a
Florida's
push
got
mower, but
new
even then, a lot of them
Yeah,
have
I
a
don't know if
driving
you
mode.
I don't know if you've seen, but our
Finally.
like size, like
Time
the
to call
yard
her
size
a
that
little
we
bit.
have is
And
just
they're kinda
crazy.
concerned
It's
about
so
it.
much.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I
Because
was
they have
talking
no
to
idea
about
how
this.
it's
There's
but
like there's
you,
like
you don't have petrol
It's not like there's
electric
a
mowers
bunch
in
of people
America,
that
do
you
you?
can
travel
split
through
Yeah,
it
we
into
do.
like
fucking
3 or 4
country to
sections.
country that has God knows what.
The first 2 sections are
fucking-
fucking huge.
Well,
They're
that's
like
'cause
big
it's-
ass rectangles.
Mhm.
The last 2 are like
naturally immune
up
to it.
and behind the house somewhere. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, we have
The
are you talking about
5%
riding
that are
mowers or
not
push
who
mowers
live in
now?
Push
Florida.
mowers.
Yeah, we have
No, if
electric
you
push
if
mowers.
you
Because
just
I
give me
can't
the
remember who it
address
was
on
I was
Google
talking
Maps,
about.
I can just
feel
look
like
at
it
it
might
from
be
above.
Goodwich.
About
It's
Florida.
easy like
You
that.
can go
He
in
said,
irons,
like,
Just need the address.
He said having like electric mowers
just
that
give-
you plug
give me
in.
your
Yeah,
address.
let me
It's, like,
dox my
really
parents real quick.
Oh,
like,
like with a
there is
cord
battery
running from it? We have a lot of our electric mowers. I mean, we
No,
do
no,
have
no,
those.
no.
But a lot of our electric mowers are like
Oh, let me get this.
battery powered. Like, you know how
Yeah,
like
let
the
me get
cordless
it.
drill has like the battery
Yeah.
pack?
Look at
Yeah,
Google
it's like
Maps.
that.
Front, and it's like,
Right.
I don't know
Because
why.
he was like saying something
not?
along the lines of
I mean,
like he wanted to get a new one, but they're expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
can
think.
definitely get the ones that like plug straight
Yeah,
in.
they're like 30
one of
quid.
those mechanics,
Alright,
big
hold on,
ass
let me find a
night
more
vision
retarded
scopes on
site.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think the average like amount of land each person owns or has
Is a
access
lot
to is
higher.
probably higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like where I live, an electric
Oh,
mower
there you
just
go.
would not be feasible. I'd have to recharge the battery
The
pack
whole
so many
rail now.
times.
Yeah,
And an
or the
extension cord.
wouldn't reach.
Yeah, the cord wouldn't reach at all.
So, Zena, I got to go
Yeah,
to
I've got like
one.
I don't know. Our garden is probably we've got a front and a back, which is quite unusual for the city,
Hell yeah.
to be fair.
Mhm.
But it's like
Alright,
let's
there
say
Season's going well then, I think.
probably 40
Whoa,
foot,
did they update it?
Oh, okay.
40 foot square, give or take.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm high
Hang on.
speed
It's the days that we get rain.
What's up,
This
Sonic?
is new.
Fucking
What?
hot afterwards.
What's
and
new?
it's
Google
awful.
Maps.
Oh yeah, true.
It's like 4 weeks
Fucking,
ago.
What,
Like-
outside your
Oh,
house?
they've got the
Yeah.
new footage
Yeah,
of
I know, I
Snop's
took the
house.
photos.
Yeah, there's the van is there.
a lot of the
yeah.
fields are
Yep,
too
this
snappy.
is recent. There was a fucking van when my parents were in Germany. This van that like parked up outside our house for like a couple of days and was just always there. I don't know whose van it was or why it was there.
Interesting.
It's just a
DMV
white
news.
tree.
But yeah, this is new. This is like
That was
my
Mariel taking the pictures.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's
Yeah,
surveillance
alright.
van.
Or
I'll
no, you don't need
put
to take, like, any
some
kind of, like,
screenshots
test or
in
anything
text
to
message.
change your license to Minnesota.
Of your house. Maybe don't do that.
No, I do it.
I'm not. You won't know where it is because it's just like the outside. Like you don't have the address.
Gonna get that.
It's just like,
Who's that?
good job,
That
makes
fucking
sense.
geographic.
Well, you're gonna get
guy.
geolocated.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, good luck.
Real, rate this
Why
up.
couldn't you have done this beforehand?
I had to get
I'll
tabs
put them in
for my
text message and I'll
truck today.
delete them real quick.
Fuck, that's expensive.
I have some questions.
Yeah, it is
230
fucking.
What about
bucks
this one?
for Tabs.
I hate it. Wisconsin.
Oh, Dawa. You have the awful grip on it.
I just hate the fact
Oh, yeah,
that
it's
you need to
terrible.
pay for fucking
Yeah.
tabs like that.
Like just look at
And,
his
Alright,
shoulder.
2 photos going
And
in
the
text
meter and a
voice. I'll be
half
deleting them in
hour
like a minute.
Oh my god.
Let's see
It's
these.
just a tube. There isn't any.
It's very hard to see the entirety of the yard. So you can see my
Oh,
car up
that's
there.
big fucking garden.
Is that a parking place or the sidewalk the van is on?
So it's our sidewalk slash parking because we don't have a garage yet. The little shack on the right with the cinder blocks is the garage in progress.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's
But that
nice.
is like
looks
the equivalent
that
of the
does look
sidewalk
like
somebody's
somewhere I
parked
would
on.
loot in days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can see why they made Eastern
Okay,
Europe
how
look
do you
like
do?
that.
Yeah, so on the left side of the tracks,
You wanna
that's
hit up
one
some
section.
nostalgia tonight?
Then it goes up behind, and then around the house, and then behind the garage is an entire like
I'm gonna have
section
to
of it.
see
It's
how
I mean,
fucking
that's
crazy.
that's definitely
My
enough
Google
for a
Maps is
riding
now.
hour to me.
Yeah, and all these years he's been using this little shitty push mower.
Went over there and me and
My mom and I are like,
Nobu have come up with, if only
he
one
needs to
person's
fucking
on
get
there,
himself
they're
a
gonna spawn the island.
ride mower.
Is he just
so
too
we're-
cheap to pay for it?
I spawned in some tank.
No,
Or
it's
stubborn?
just and it's not that he's stubborn. It's just that there's like money that's always needed for something else.
They, it
I
took
got
Oh,
you.
do you know what?
almost 12
Actually,
D55.
My,
Now they're doing the garage, so the money's needed for the
Fucking
garage.
Abrams
But
after
I'm gonna like
for D30.
like
God.
coordinate with my
It
mom
took,
and
like, 4
and
Cornets.
use some of our cash
man.
to get a ride mower.
Yo, nice hat, Kaiser.
God,
my
man.
fucking house looks like shit on Google Maps. It was before we
Yo,
moved in.
Brady, you're wearing the Joey
Busted
X's?
up an Abrams.
Yeah.
3 LAVs.
Do you know what brand that's
My
actually
house
based off
looks
of?
super like run down on Google
The
Maps.
Wiley X's. It's actually a military firm.
Like
We sell those in our office.
Squad of infantry.
Whoa.
They are
military
firm.
they're safety glasses rated.
Your mustache hairs
Oh.
are beyond your mouth area.
Abrams get.
Wow.
You look like a bum.
Hey, I can write you a no shave chip for that.
Disabled.
Oh, thank you.
$50.
$50.
You can't do that.
He's,
in front of me.
what's that? Was it Nordic fucking
Norse Pagan.
Norse pagan? Yeah.
Man, there are no rules.
It took so much ass just to take it down. So did you fully
trying to
destroy
get
it,
somewhere?
or did you try to like?
Yeah,
Oh,
after,
look,
after like the
fucking-
4th Cornet or fucking core.
No,
You know what I mean? The
we
Russian
have
Navy
we have
responded
shit
well.
that's like this sort of size
only you could
for
see through it.
gardens.
We could
You see
have.
Steven
The
back
push
there?
mower
We
is
do
all you
do
need.
have one. We have
Oh,
one,
good.
3 LAVs.
Yeah, for something like that, absolutely. But
The
the
back's like
giga
that
fucking
much
yeah,
worse.
the giga yard that my parents have and are taking care of every single day is like impossible.
Mr. Medina?
Yeah.
You can always buy a used
I'll tell you what, actually, we've got the electric.
I don't know where to find
corded
used
push-
mowers here though.
push
I need to
mower.
like look,
Facebook
there's-
Marketplace.
Yeah, no, bro, exactly.
bro.
I mean, I'm not sure if it's as active in
You can probably buy
anywhere
like
non-US.
like a 200,000
I mean,
kilometer fucking
to be
3
honest,
series, and it'll just have
I
a
think the
lawnmower in the
push
back or
mower that
something.
he's using was also secondhand.
I need to delete the turret.
My,
No wonder why it
we've
breaks
got
so
one of
much.
those like old timey ones that just rolls and like cuts, like has like a.
Oh,
blade.
it's got the circle blade, the cylinder of blades.
Yeah, yeah. We've got one of
Those
them as well. Just
are-
because it was
yeah.
at, like it was at like a car boot sale. And it was pretty cool.
They've become a little I don't know, like back. I don't know if in fashion is the word, but like people think it's neat, so they're like
Yeah.
selling them again, and it's so silly, like seeing it go back.
It's like, hey, I just think they're neat.
So I'm gonna go to
I haven't seen
the
this map
school
yet.
and have like
actually.
a 2-hour commute,
Oh shit. Get him.
and then I'll like follow up on Wednesday. So
Got
I'm
a whole
missing
ass
cool
mount
stuff that I could've
facility.
done or seen, but I'm also getting like a vacation day for that. Like a
Buckeye,
Hey,
did somebody
Buckeye.
steal your guys' toy?
Yes.
No.
Mm.
Why'd
It's
you have
actually
to do that?
impressive like how high the text is on this fucking thing when it's
I
just
should
so
probably make a
flat, it's kinda
rifleman
crazy.
kit as well. shouldn't
What?
I, actually?
Buckeye.
The
Is
fucking
that the-
XM157.
You
Oh,
know what?
really?
I gotta try that scope. I've been hearing
Mhm.
a lot about it.
Buckeye. Fucking,
I couldn't get
Hey.
the zoom to work.
Huh? What?
I grew up thinking quicksand was going to be more of a problem I would have to deal with in my life.
Yeah. I also didn't realize it was gonna be like soup.
T130.
But some shit, you only sink up to like your waist as long as you don't thrash around.
Like I saw a video of it the other day, and like it's so weird how it's like a waterbed actually, except you will eventually sink into it. Whoa.
How does that shit even happen?
I don't know. I think it's like air bubbles under the ground and it gets
Who the
aerated.
hell?
Like if you've ever aerated your
Who
yard.
does this person think he is?
And then,
What?
Oh, I see
Does the
that.
remote matter?
and
We
then,
have it or no?
Did Chase not tell you?
Automatic.
I think it's
Wait,
No.
did I just hear you guys lost the
We
Abrams?
promoted beans.
The corp.
The different beans.
I know.
There's no way in
Very
fuck that's
sick.
it. I
I
look
like
up,
it.
there's a fucking raptor over my head.
Do I add another row of chairs? That's 20.
I think the most terrifying thing was still when the fucking
I don't know. How many people Reacted.
Like that shit.
We have a
Mm,
line of air defense put up on the hills that none of those get anywhere near
Dawa.
objectives anymore.
11, 13,
Nice. Hamster.
15, 16,
They have
17,
3
18.
filters and then
Less
a
than
fucking
20 if I'm
Tunguska
right.
by the weapons
Okay,
trader.
They won't find
20's
me.
fine.
go.
10 out.
I'll stand anyway.
No, we
I've been sitting all day.
a no
fuck with
fire
12
fucking
and they're all
no
open
fly
meeting.
zone with the weapons trader after we almost
hamburger.
lost all of our fucking lives.
Oh,
Because
that happened
a plane-
again?
I hate my
It-
fucking
A
humor.
plane
I changed my face model.
uh,
Yeah, training rotation.
overhead.
Yeah.
I'm not even the same
Changed
person.
mine
Wait,
as
wait,
well.
let me read
Yeah.
I didn't
I
realize
try
he
to
had this
try,
big
try to
scar
make
on
it
his
as
nose,
close as
though.
possible, like without the beard.
Don't look at me,
Oh.
flowers. I don't even know what.
Yeah, I
color
just
that is.
chose one that had less of a like scruffy beard.
You have my face.
Bruh.
That's the face I use. Beardy.
Congratulations, you
Oh, it
played
is.
Yeah.
Just ignore it.
I don't like it because I don't like the scar.
Do mine.
I
It's a
think
good
I'm gonna change
character.
it back.
Do I have time to make some fajitas?
I like
Yes.
this.
Except you're less.
I even know where faces.
Use me as a bad example.
Say less,
Wait, I had that one.
I was hoping we'd be done kind of quick tonight. I'm tired.
Yeah,
It's Meryl.
we're just gonna be doing
What's me?
practices for like NCOs for the weekend. It's gonna be CQB and like ambushes or defense and lift or whatever. Obviously with like live fire mixed in today.
The reason
You're
there's
on
instructions
We
everywhere
go
is
talk
because
to
somebody
Curtis.
had to have instructions made for it.
Hello.
Fucked up
That
something.
man couldn't even walk 10 steps.
Scrap him.
Also, I want the Turkish drum.
Get him.
Do you remember that
Vaquero.
one?
No,
Oh, you're in for a treat.
the Turkish wrangle.
Oh god.
No, the Turkish drum.
I fucking missed.
Oh no.
Yo, you need.
Oh,
Was that
you're
your
the one
face
missing
always?
out. Hold up.
What the fuck? Who just says hit me with your
Grab him
lowest
quickly.
weapon? I'm selling a chair.
Trying. He's too fast. He's too slippery.
We're all going for the same.
And this guy just says,
I wish
hit
there
me
was
with your
cigarettes for
lowest
the
price. You
NVG
know what
slot.
I'm
Yo.
about?
You got
Hey,
it.
but
Those what?
Alright.
Cigarettes for the NVG slot.
Is there not?
Throw him in a wall.
You can start with
Whoever
one, but
caught him,
the
you're,
ones that come from the
congratulations.
SIG
Yeah.
pack
I still
don't.
have all my.
Did
Did
we
we catch our Magnum?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have mine. It wasn't me.
Some shit.
Tell you what though. Sorry, Magnum. I
So,
got you.
I'm already taking a dig for it, and I barely
Yes.
have my
I got the Detroit special.
No, I sent you
So
two
nothing-
patches that I've
you don't
used
really
before.
Okay, I'm gonna look at them.
Stuck. Oh, no, he's doing get out.
There's a story about the first one.
I think I
am
remember
gonna
you
get yelled at
wearing
then.
that.
And he thought about it for a
I
bit.
wish we had
I
the
don't care.
second one
I
and
don't
the
get
third
sticky
one.
with these.
Sometimes I wish a
Just to
motherfucker
have
would.
Block 17 with the giggle switch.
Oh, yeah.
In your misery.
No, I do not.
Yeah, that's right.
The misery.
That thing is stupid.
Out of curiosity,
are we sticking with the 6.8?
Why are you red?
Oh, cool.
Why are you-
Yes.
Oh,
Are ever gonna be like more rifles?
Did you have to walk
You
through
ever-
to do that though?
You ever accidentally not thrown an IR stroke?
Yeah.
Ever accidentally not?
So my
Yeah.
mom was walking
do
past
you
me
mean?
in the kitchen. She
Like
goes,
maybe you
I'm
threw
supposed to
something
sneeze." I
else
go,
instead.
Oh. Sometimes when I'm throwing smokes,
I can't sneeze
they
now.
will fly over the wall with them.
Pretty funny.
But no, I've never bad fragged when I meant to throw a stroke.
I looked the opposite way 'cause my wife was
Lucky
left.
you.
Didn't realize the cat was like right next to me. I turned my head to the right and
what the
sneezed
fuck is
all over that bitch. Oh my god.
Look,
She
out of
fucking
curiosity,
fucked
like,
What
they-
what's the
they
what's
be allowed
the
to have, like,
what's it
like,
called?
you know, one or two
The
tickets for
protocol
I
for
took Winston with because I had to go get my
sights on this new machine gun. Is it still the
And,
MDO?
I was like, oh, it'll be like
So
a
that's
quick
Spirit
like
is
hour.
I don't actually know.
20-minute
Yes.
trip. No. There was 7 add-on stops and about
Can I not have this one in black?
maybe 100 extra miles.
Oh no.
My
Wait,
dad
the rifle is
had
lighter,
me
but wait,
stop at
the
Napa,
bullets are heavy, so
then
kinda
go
use it.
to the place where he was going to leave his vehicle, pick him up,
Like
take him
one
to the
mag of
liquor store,
25 is a
take him
pound.
to the hardware store, then go
20 rounds is like
15
8,
miles,
20.
This
15
box
minutes
does
north,
not look like
check
it
out a
fits
field, drive
150
around the
rounds.
section while he got out
Used to,
and
like, seeing this
walked
huge
in
ass
on one
fucking
end,
bag.
walked in on the other. Drive him back, take him to another
I
auto
solved
parts
the
store.
issue.
This box is not big enough
Then
for
we
250
stopped
rounds.
at a well drilling.
Who the hell is
company,
Corporal Beans?
And then we checked 4 fields.
Oh, well.
He's got to do NCO training and learn how to do it.
I'm sure the pupper was
Oh yeah, that's what they all say.
ecstatic about that.
That is what
Yeah,
they
my
all
dad didn't
say.
tell me I
Well,
had to
here
look
for.
forward in the
Barry, are we
first
playing
year.
Rome
Like
2
10
tonight?
feet from the approach. So I tried to hit
No,
the
I'm
right
tired.
so
Yeah?
fucking be able to make
Okay.
the turn. I didn't,
Oh, yeah?
and Winston's
Pretty well,
front half
actually.
went
It's,
flying off my bench
enjoyable
seat.
to say the least.
So I look in the back seat to check on him, and I
That's
just
just a
see his
fucking
butt
pain
and
in
him
the ass
frantically
to
trying to
deal with a
hop
bunch of
up
fucking
backwards back up onto the
heads.
seat.
What's your MOS in the army right now?
Because he was sitting on his bed, and his bed just
okay.
slid all the way off.
I was artillery, but I'm switching
Damn,
over
you hate to
to
see it.
probably medical.
You could just blame your dad for that one. That's easy.
For 2 years.
I took him for a little walk while my dad was walking through the corn.
If this fly messes with me one more time, I'm gonna fucking deal with
He
it.
who walks in between the rows.
He stuck his head in a fucking like gopher's mound or whatever, and was very lucky not to have anyone home.
Ex-Marine already comms.
Yeah, no shit. Why would you do that? Don't ever do that.
Whatever. Steven, yeah.
Who, your dad
Then
or
you
Winston?
guys have a
Winston.
pretty healthy marine
Oh, okay. Well,
population,
dog
from
stuff.
what I heard.
I
Whole.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
curiosity
Steven,
just killed cats.
Vaughn,
Sometimes
Steven
it's
Vaughn,
quirky.
Josh, Bridger,
Sometimes it gets.
Bridger's in the Marines too?
was. Actually, maybe he
We
still is.
have a lot. We have a lot of people in active service, prior service. A lot of like.
Don't we have like a
majority
guy
of
who's
them.
in the army too? As well?
I heard
Back.
there wasn't that many army guys in there, though.
I mean,
Where's
compared to
Chris?
Marines,
Chris?
yeah.
Hmm.
Chris!
Chris, come yell at this guy quickly.
Chris!
Chris,
Chris!
you're being summoned.
Mr. Chris!
Leave a message.
Oh, it's General Hire.
Bandit
Chris is
is
fucking
calling.
huge, by the way.
Fuck
He'll
you,
fucking
though.
kick your ass.
Chris is calling for
I'm
you.
a pretty big guy myself.
What?
But Chris is.
I'm Chris.
bigger than
Colonel
me.
Chris has like photos
Oh,
next to
look,
like his
Commander,
unit members, and he
Okay.
just
Hold on,
stands
find
out,
out.
bro. He's fucking
Question you.
huge.
Bandit?
I'm not gonna salute you back though. You're gonna be stuck there.
My balls.
Is Crystal in
Your
that?
balls itch.
Yeah,
Blue
he's in
ball,
the
my
army.
salute.
Chris is
What's
in
up? Okay.
We need to just walk over to him and do it.
Oh,
again.
is he not in the
And just,
military?
like, follow him around and keep holding it the whole time.
Oh, I'm down.
I called him
Alright, let's go.
Well,
I
just
would've
walk.
actually
Like I
called
walk.
his ass, too.
Why is everybody
You gotta be
coming
all
here?
serious.
Choose to not
Bring everybody over
participate
here.
in
I don't know the key line.
tomfoolery.
Control C.
Chris, this guy says he's better
General
than you.
Commander's Hire.
Bro, what
Oh.
are you doing with ACUs?
Colonel Haya.
Real talk.
Look, Commander Haya.
I'm
Ah,
not
nothing.
gonna salute you back. Fuck you guys.
It was a long day at
just
work.
apologize.
Today I
I'm gonna
just
give
yelling
you an
me.
honest opinion,
Today I
Chris,
just
that
did
is
not
one
want
of
to
the worst
go.
camos
I
ever
woke
done.
up in the morning.
Don't do it
I
again.
Monday this
Chris, if
morning.
you do that
I
again,
was so
you're getting
fucking just
the
like,
naughty fucking
I'm
10.
already done with this week.
Alone.
Alone?
Ugliest fucking
We keep
camo
getting
ever
shoved
made.
in fucking
It works.
because I'm a
It's so
I'm a
fucking
logger, you know,
useless.
working in the woods and shit.
Sure.
Fucking the foresters
Can you
that
chuckle
we
fucks, fuck off?
basically work
Stop
under
saluting gun
keep
legend.
shoving us in like the worst fucking ground with the worst like there's not even any good trees.
He didn't
No,
say we
we're-
couldn't
we're-
salute
we're
each
not
other.
trees.
It's all
Yeah,
fucking
no.
junk.
It's good
We
talking
have a
beans.
brand new bunker operator. His job is the one
Sorry,
to
but
pick what trees to
just
cut
how the
and to
cookie
cut them
crumbles
down
here,
and
like
to
if
lay
you're
out the
coming in from
trails.
Yeah,
You
we're
guys
gonna
have like
pick on
unfound
next
that
week,
for
then.
some reason.
New,
The
and
corporal.
it's just
What, your
It's
salute?
that's fine.
No, the
This is,
walk.
and
Still
I just
learning
found
the way.
out.
Have the fajitas. No, I like my RP walk.
Than him, but the boss said, well, he's been here longer, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna put him in it.
I don't
I'm
know
just
what
like,
I
next time
would
you,
have
like, log in,
done
yeah,
it.
like, relog down.
But
I hate
fucking-
It was actually
Yeah.
useful
and then I
in cold
found
weather
out next
training
week I'm
because you're
working
standing
on
on
Right.
lines.
all
Until
week.
you
I
like
need to
graduate
do
from
check.
PFC,
One
you
piece
need
of
to like
equipment
wear
to
the
the
recruit
next
kit.
all
I'm
day.
mad
for
at
just
one
five
early
fucking
anymore. I
days,
miss
and I'm
this shit.
not fucking happy about it.
Why the fuck are they doing that to you?
Stupid ass.
Because my
fuck.
boss really
Yeah, I
doesn't want to
unfound it
hire
for some
another
reason.
person.
I think it might.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
does.
it's okay.
I mean,
You
That
getting
is so
paid to
stupid.
do multiple jobs?
Probably better
No.
than you.
Check off that never
Chris, you're a
works.
ginger?
There we go.
Yeah, that never
It was either
works.
That
this
never
or the
works.
fucking.
Sometimes I just like to laser designate random rough riders just in the off chance someone's firing off a laser guided missile.
Twice the amount from doing two operators' jobs.
Is it a dick
Shut the
move?
fuck
Yeah,
up,
but
Bob.
would it be the funniest thing ever if it works?
Dude,
Yeah.
fucking okay. So
Shut
this
the fuck up, or
site
you don't have
right
anyone
here,
working.
Fucking I.
Well, what's
You know,
funny?
watched the
So,
video,
all right,
it had
all right.
this
You know,
exact fucking
just so
site.
you know, I'm the
Yeah, man,
youngest.
fucking
I'm
those- if
28.
you guys do see
The average age at my company is 67,
I mean, you can change your scope.
which is
no,
which is
no,
so
no,
massive.
it's not fucking scope.
Yes, exactly.
This
Right.
guy, like, you know, the Liver Action series.
Look, that's
Oh,
I was having fun yesterday just fucking
you know how I
hitting these
told
little
you
target
Rumble had that
zones.
fucking come apart at the fucking Case IH rep?
That's still eligible for it.
All right, well, I'm gonna go get some
disrupts, like,
together.
why Case doesn't design this stuff to be like an amber.
It's just, yeah, it's
And
really
you just
walking the
spend
line.
10 minutes screaming at the sales rep, just trying to show him the
Hear
new
ye,
design
hear
for his
ye.
seat.
Grab a chair. The brief will start soon. The captain is running late with some paperwork.
Oh god, I didn't bring a napkin.
Oh
So,
Alright, keep a roll of paper towels by my desk.
Yo, we got the good chairs already. We didn't have to change
everyone is fucking invited to go to some.
Oh, I'm gonna sit next to the fucker.
I thought you were like.
Bro, are we
eating lunch or
social
something.
distancing? What is this?
No, I got it.
I just didn't want to sit at least.
$28.
Yeah, hurry.
Ready.
Oh, yeah, what year we are?
Yeah.
Yeah,
was?
we have already moved on to
Oh, I see.
Covert 2 at this point.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Oh, I don't want to send it.
Okay, cool. So,
I'm not gonna say anything today because if these motherfuckers don't know, they're
hold on,
retarded.
yeah. So we're waiting for the captain to get here.
I'm gonna sit down.
He's just fucking taking forever per usual.
That one.
So,
How do I sit on it?
Back and
we're
sit
about
down.
about to have a game.
What the hell? How's that man?
No,
Two
what's
best
Bam
friends.
Whoa. I'll be right back.
Whoa.
Stun locked. Quickly.
Quickly.
I don't remember.
You don't remember, you're retarded. Alright, Flowers, what's Met TC? Quickly.
Met TC is mission, equipment, terrain, time, and civilian considerations.
That was immaculate. Wow.
Thank you.
Nobody's asked you in a month. Good looks. That's what I like to see.
Appreciate
He is enemy.
Yeah.
Great.
What the hell?
I'm gonna kill myself.
It's okay. He's not in the army anymore.
Cheese. Cheese in the corner. What's Bamsis? Because
He
Dollar
went to
couldn't
the
answer.
bathroom.
Oh, he's gone? Yeah. Well, Gun Laser, what's Bamsis?
Campus? No idea. Y'all know
Zeno?
the comment that.
Begin planning, arrange recon, make recon, complete the plan, issue the order, and supervise.
Bingo.
Who can tell me
is-
why battle buddies are important? We went over this Saturday, so you guys should all know. Accountability. That was a very good answer. Why accountability, Flowers?
Because if a motherfucker goes down, somebody else will hopefully know and call it up.
I'll be right back, Brady.
Exactly.
And that way you don't have retards wandering off doing their lone wolf shit.
Exactly. I
Oh my
know
God,
maybe.
Brady.
Sorry.
I know a lot of times, honestly, we may take something seriously in the game. We may use a lot of acronyms and use the mill sim part becomes a lot more than kind of enjoying the game. But a lot of the stuff that we do teach, especially throughout the training rotation, is for the game itself. We can't forget that this is a game, and we have to kind of adhere to the game tech. So battle buddies are important in real life, so you guys can watch out for each other. Battle buddies are important in the game, so we can watch out for each other. Very big lesson that we tried to teach you guys Saturday, and you guys actually were able to get it through your heads. Today, I believe when the captain gets on, he wants to go over how you're going to be teaching these guys on Friday what to do in an ambush, how to adhere to the time given to you. Met TC, one of the most important facets that I think is time. Lassie isn't here, even though I've been working with him on time a lot. But time is very important for a facsimile of different reasons, right? Flowers, since you've been so hot on it, why is time an important feature of Met TC?
Time is an important feature of Met TC because
what I learned in boating school is
what I learned in WLC Phase 1 is that time is an important feature of Met TC because that will determine if you have to use your nods or not.
That was also a different example, right? Time in a sense that we think about it. Are we doing operations in day or nighttime? That's important for us. Things that are very audacious, like an air assault, for example, can be done in day or nighttime. We prefer sometimes to do them at nighttime because the enemy, based on the commander's priority information, may or may not have night vision capability. And we can see ourselves, whether with drone, aerial reconnaissance, ISR, or our own eyes, if they have NVGs. So time is important in that facet that, hey, do they have nods or not? That's very good for us to know. So that's an important example of why time is important. Can anybody else give me another example why time is important? We're going to go over time probably a lot today, so that's why I'm kind of hounding it in. So somebody else give me another example why time is important.
It could have to do with like a time crunch. Like, do you plan on hitting a convoy? Do you have a certain amount of time to set up defenses?
Yes, Balkan here.
Do you need to be at
Catch you on
certain
the way? Watch it.
places? Stuff like that.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
You just simulate a phone call, Ivanov, Snape.
He
That
was
was a
on the
simulation.
phone.
Dumb fuck actually got a phone call.
He did get the phone call. Anyway, so yeah, like the video was just saying, what if we're on a time crunch? You know, a lot of the times you guys will hear, especially when we're doing ambushes, ambushes depend so much on the time. When is the target of opportunity coming into our AOR?
I love you.
How much time do we have on
Love you
attack? When are we leaving? And based on the enemy's MLKOA to that convoy, like his example, how much time is that until the enemy can actually respond to our own attack? So time is very important in so many different ways, and there's so many different variables of time. Just so you guys are aware that time is very important, and you should be thinking about that throughout the night tonight, because the captain's going to teach you guys, hey, maybe in CQB, time is of the essence. Because once you pop the first door, everybody in the whole building is going to hear you, and they're going to wonder. They may not know somebody's rushing the building with a gun. What?
Stop.
So, like I said, time is very important for a myriad of reasons. And like you will learn today, time is way more than meets the eye. So, who can give me another example why time is important? We already had two. Where's Corporal Terry?
Oh. He was
He's
AFK
right
a
here,
second ago.
right next to me.
Is he? Give him a little elbow bump.
I think she went to the bathroom.
He might not be here.
All right, well, the captain's here. I'm going to
Travel distance.
Travel distance, right? Time's important. How long is it going to take us to get to the objective? Sometimes that's subjective, based on what's actually happening. Most of the time, people are not waiting on us. We are not waiting on other people. We create our own time, so travel distance also.
Have we actually got enough time to fucking do what we want to do?
Well, we create our own time, is what I just said.
Well, yeah, no, but there's other stuff that happens, isn't there?
Actually, if you let the enemy create any time, they slow down our own tempo, and we create our own tempo. If you allow the enemy to dictate any portion of the scenario, then it absolutely fucks over what we do as a whole. So we create our own tempo at all times.
Huh?
Knowing the wise man, whoa.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna pass it off to the captain here. I'm sure you guys love hearing me rant about time, but I'm gonna go make sure Corporal Terry can stay awake.
Could we talk about Met TC? Is that what we're talking about? Or something?
Yeah, I'm talking about Met TC.
Sir.
Good old recon reports.
Okay.
If you need to go stand in the back again, go stand all the way in the back.
Really briefly, so this is the first time that we are setting aside time for leadership specific stuff. This is something that Mac has pushed really hard for. And I think he's right. It's something I've been wanting to do, frankly, for years, but I should know how to make it happen. And it's one of those things where you just realize, you know what, the only way to make it happen is to just fucking do it. So we're going to try to more regularly have these trainings that are like more focused towards leadership. They'll be open to the community because it's going to be on like an op night. So if guys want to show up, that's fine. You know, like Graham, it's good to see you. I apologize. Tonight's going to be like, has the chance to be super omega boring for you though. But maybe you'll find it interesting. I don't know. It's largely going to be talking about theory stuff. I could rant about a lot of the stuff that I want to. A lot of stuff that I want to like rant with you guys about and like work you through. But I think it's what's more appropriate and what will be the most meaningful is instead the primary focus of these nights will be to prepare you guys for whatever the trainings are going to be like afterwards. And so tonight we're going to focus on CQB and ambushes, the stuff that is going to be coming up this weekend. Because the hope here, and this is going to be new for especially like I've got Dawa and Wes is not here, but frankly, even Zeno, and gun laser, like you guys have been NCOs on a deployment, and that's a cool experience. And you guys have been doing, I think pretty kick ass when you're not getting blown up by artillery. But generally though, you have never actually had to like turn around and like train the unit, which is a different experience and is not something that it's just like, oh, like, I can do this thing, I can lead in the field, blah, blah, blah. Like, it really helps to know what the fuck you're talking about, at least in some capacity. Again, it's a video game. You guys know this. We don't try to take this serious to a degree where it's like no longer functional, because there are portions of, especially when you get into CQB, that just don't apply to Arma, because Arma fucking sucks. So don't sweat the small stuff, but you do need to have a conceptual idea of what the fuck is going on. Yeah, it's just like Laser said. Who is my green person? Oh, Magnum. You have your hand up earlier?
You'd ask
These
me,
are
bro.
hands.
I fucking hate TeamSpeak, bro. I gotta restart like every fucking time. I was promised crayons. Will that be available before or after?
Bruh.
You'll get a pack of crayons and a gold sticker at the end.
Fuck, I gotta wait this whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
retard. All right, continue, sir.
Okay. God damn it. We're going.
Sir, yes, sir. Who?
Yeah, the fuck. We're going to
Yeah, how you doing, sir, tonight?
We're gonna move over to Mount Town.
Oh, we have a mount down here, sir?
Yeah, absolutely we do. Look at the fucking
Have you looked at the wall to your left, brother?
Gun laser.
Yes.
You are almost a pharmacist, and you didn't read any of the fucking shit right here.
Look at the big ass map behind the captain.
You're so on the cusp of being in the most educated Rough Riders Club, and you didn't read any of this shit.
He's learning how to read chicken scratch, not type.
It's typed.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but he doesn't know how to read type.
Yeah. Okay.
He's trying to learn how to read Skippy's handwriting.
Yeah, this is actually coherent. What the fuck?
Oh, we're going to the Mount Town.
The Mount
permission
Town
to
is
bring
to the
chairs
left.
with,
It's
sir?
it's color coded to the left, everybody.
No, we're gonna be like walking around. I'm not doing. Again, I promised you this was not going to be death by PowerPoint. And I don't intend to.
I had to fight for that, right?
To do that shit. Yeah, like I'm not. We're not gonna lecture the whole time. I need you to like visualize stuff. There's gonna be a lot of answering questions. And so what I need from you guys, I guess, find a little like intro thing. What I need from you guys is I need feedback as you go through this. I need honest questions about what you don't know. This is primarily geared towards leadership. You'll notice if you look around that with the exception of Beans and Grim, there's not really any new people here. So you can say stupid ass shit. This is the time I need you to do that. Because I need you, I need to really figure out, especially for my newer NCOs, I need to figure out what you don't know well enough to teach. And I need you to honestly be willing to like ask this shit so that when we get to this on Friday and Kurt and Snipe are like talking about some guys and like teaching something, you can take your team to the side since they're not talking about you, and you can be like, hey, I want to go over this stuff with you guys. Or during these exercises, you can stop and talk through it. Like, one of the things that I brought up with the squad that I was leading on training the other day is that, like, yeah, I want to do this stuff fast and I want us to look competent, especially because I had a squad that was like predominantly experienced guys. But if at any point you need to just like kind of chill out for a second and be like, hey, we just did this thing, new person or person who hasn't been to a training rotation. This is why we're doing that thing. This is what's up with that. And like, this what's good. That means a lot. And that does a couple things. One, it proves that you're not retarded. But two, being a source of information like that people can come to is all about improving your relationship with your subordinates. And that boils over into something that maybe you've heard me rant about, which is influence. Has everyone gotten my influence rant before?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the most
Influence
important currency.
is the most important currency to a leader. And what I mean by that is you shouldn't seek to be some sort of like sociopathic manipulator of your subordinates. It needs to, and if you want examples of that, I'm sure Chris can tell you horror stories, but it needs to come from a place of good faith. And you can, by building a relationship with the guys that you're like leading day to day, thank you, Chris, you can build the relationship such that when you say jump, they say how high, and it's not because you're playing like little puppet master. It's because they trust that you're not going to get them killed and that you know what the fuck you're talking about. And the way that you build that is one, obviously by knowing what the fuck you're talking about, but two, getting to know these guys and saying like, hey, what kind of stuff are you interested in? And being that as a way to be like, you know, and the guy mentions in passing, like, oh, he wants to be a medic. And then you get to act like his like cousin that knows a guy for everything and be like, oh, that's cool. I can like connect you with like Chase or Terry and we can get that square, dude, and you can be a medic. The onboarding process for this unit is vague on purpose for several reasons, and you've probably seen me give this spiel to new people. The onboarding process here is vague for a couple reasons. Like, we obviously are not one of those units that it's like, oh, everybody has to come to this basic training, and some 12-year-old that think he's a drill instructor is gonna like yell at you, and then you're gonna do like really high-speed stuff and call yourself a ranger, and none of that stuff is ever going to apply in Arma because that shit doesn't translate into Arma.
Know what you're thinking.
That's part of it.
I gave him that whole speech already.
Yes.
Little did you know. At the
I
very
know.
beginning of this.
I know. Maria, you're fucking stun locking me. What's going on?
What?
I'm hearing some shit in your background.
Oh, are you sorry?
TikTok watching dickhead. Anyways,
Wait, it is
the second part is that people come to communities looking for something that's going to be a right fit for them, right? You guys have seen that plenty. Somebody will join, they're here for like a picosecond, and then they fucking leave. That's cool. We don't care.
Others
But
ask if they can say the N-word. That one's a
right,
Yeah,
but
that's like a make or break thing for them apparently. So.
But moving on here. The point is we are also looking for people that are going to be a good fit, and we have the luxury, being a community that's been around for, I guess, really close to 5 years at this point, that we just don't take people we don't want, and there's always other people to pull from. And now we hope that we can turn people into people that we do want. That's a cool aspiration. Doesn't always work out, and that's okay. So we leave the onboarding process vague because we want to see that they're willing to take the initiative to ask shit they don't know, that they're willing to express their interest in like specialty section training and shit like that. So by being the connection they can go to for that, if they don't know, you know, how do I even go about joining an MOS process? That's the kind of stuff that it's expected you guys all understand about the unit. And if you can give them that information, then they're like, oh man, like Flowers helped me be a medic. I like Flowers is really looking out for me. That's cool. That's why I was really up y'all's ass about the promotion and award recommendations, because that shit matters too. And it's a more than anyone gives a fuck about their digital rank or about the fact that like, oh, I got like, you know, a service achievement medal in Arma. That shit doesn't matter. But what does matter is that those people see that you guys, their NCO leadership, are paying attention to them, and you're noting their progress, you're noting their achievements, you're noting their activity and their contributions, and that you're paying attention and looking out for them. That's the stuff that sticks. That's why it's important. The actual what it is, nobody gives a fuck about that. And if they do, they have all sorts of other problems if they really care about their digital rank. Okay. That being said, let's go over to Mountville.
Can I bring the chair?
No.
Right up there on the bus.
Can we get hover rounds?
Shit, I mean, do you guys want to drive? What do you want to do? I was just gonna like TP you away.
No, let's drive.
I always want to drive.
All right.
Let me go.
Who's driving the battle bus?
I'm hearing that.
I'll meet you.
Hang
over
on,
there.
yeah, hang on.
No, I'm
Oh,
driving.
the bus. Fine.
on the
I want to
bus.
help Quinn get to the thing.
Yes.
Oh,
There
good.
smoke.
Yes, the bus is on the way. Roger.
359. Wait, to the Mount Town or to the
Think-
CP spot?
I think Terry's gonna need to teleport. I don't think he's back yet. Or he can just stay here.
Terry can teleport himself. He's got Zeus.
Come on, Quinn. It's time to go.
Just a second. It's my favorite song they're gonna play, and I cannot hear you.
Okay, so Quinn, today is more like what's called for leadership.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you were here for Chase's speech. Like, it might
Where is everybody?
boring for you, but this is like where you can like ask questions, see how like. Ask questions. You know?
Oh.
How did you could have walked over here? Get on the bus.
What do you mean? I didn't teleport myself.
Get on the bus.
What do you mean I could have walked over here? I didn't even know where you were. I'm not arguing with you, but don't you accuse me of teleporting when I don't even know where you were.
Hi, Terry.
Wait, I'm standing up. What the hell?
You could have just walked over and teleported
Terry,
yourself.
you still in your villain arc?
What?
Who knows how to get to the mountain side?
I do.
Inside.
There's, sir, there's no AC, so the back door has to
It
stay
smells
open.
like shit.
Don't bullshit. You know you've got your fucking ATAC.
Oh, now I'm standing over here.
Knock it down, knock it down. Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. You can
No.
go off inside the bus.
You're a fucking idiot.
Wait, so you haven't.
Go.
No fucking way.
Don't hit shit that hard, bozo. You should know that.
I don't get to drive that much.
Okay, while we're driving, this could be my time to rag on people.
You know where we're going?
Take a right.
I mean, there's a sign. Literally, the sign says Mount Facility. Okay, so anyway, talking about some leadership vulnerabilities that I've seen lately, and this is applicable relatively across the board, okay? This is something we addressed towards the end of the deployment, but my biggest concern right now is that lower level leaders do not feel empowered to take initiative. You have got to take initiative. This is not like a prime example. I'll give you a horror story. Steven joined one of those ranger units so that we could spy on them and see if they were somebody we would want to do a joint operation with. And they had a situation where, like, you know, and good for them, they were big enough to where they fielded multiple platoons, okay?
Bus is too fucking fat.
Steven's platoon leader in that was so afraid to take any sort of initiative outside of what precisely the company commander had said, that their sister platoon was getting their fucking ass kicked in the objective area, and his platoon leader just sat on this overwatch ridge with his thumb up his ass, doing nothing. He wasn't even doing anything to, like, isolate or contain the objective area. He was just, like, sitting at their initial base of fire position doing nothing. I would be so fucking upset with you guys if you did that, bro. Take some initiative.
First time we were really cool.
That's because we are cool.
We are cool. Hell yeah.
You guys
Hoorah.
are my fifth arm like you did, and it was torture.
This is the only army unit where
So what you're trying to say is you get around.
racially abused.
Yes.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
we
We
hate
make
the
fun of
British.
your British ancestry, Mario.
Haha, get
Welcome
fucked.
to the Mount site, guys.
Wow, we made it to the Mount Town. Don't run this over, or we will blow up.
I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down.
Snipe, go get the gate.
I got the gate. Don't fucking ram it.
I'm stopping. Jesus, have a little faith in me, you know.
Run his ass over.
Says the motherfucker
might,
that just
shit.
destroyed
Wait,
the
no,
wheels that we have.
Why can't I fight from vehicle?
Get in.
We don't have very many wheels for this bus.
Just pull over here on the left against the wallflowers, like right here.
No, we have to go to our designated parking area.
I love that I'm standing up. This is my
No
favorite part.
POVs on the range.
We have a parking pass.
Whoa,
bus.
big unit.
I didn't bring my plaque to the mountain.
on the roof.
Whoa. I'm gonna go stand over
Whoa.
here.
I don't think you heard my funny joke. Okay, quit running into me.
The oldest anarchy server.
Stop it.
Okay, so before we kind of dry run some of this, I want to try and give you like a theoretical foundation of like what the fuck is going on in our environments. Again, someone's going to ask you this question, and you got to have some fucking idea. Obviously, you guys. Hold on, just a second.
Do you know
fuck?
you're the
What
only
was that?
person with nods on?
That was some people in the fucking background.
The voices.
The voices.
There's some dude screaming like the room across from me.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you live in a barracks, Chris?
Beat by his girlfriend.
What'd you do?
Yo,
What'd you put in me?
Look
How
at
did
you
you
guys
buy
hearing
it?
shit right now?
Chris, do you live in a barracks?
Tag in.
Do you live in a barracks?
Of course.
Buckeye, what are your marksman thoughts on the spear platform?
Do you have AIDS?
It's
so
What?
What?
It is. This thing is like, I fucking love it.
Hold on.
It's a
I gotta
point
look
click adventure
in
game.
my fucking phone.
It is.
Chris is the barracks bunny making rounds.
No.
Oh,
Stop.
There is
Stop.
no
Stop.
barracks
Stop. Stop.
There's a
Stop.
barracks
Stop.
twink, though.
That's the last story that I wanted to hear.
That's a new sticker.
Oh my god.
Who is it?
Captain doesn't want to hear about the barracks twink.
No. You don't need to describe yourself in such detail, Chris.
I am much too big to be a twink.
That's the big C right there, bro.
Is this part
Okay,
of
so
leadership training?
yeah, it is. You have to deal with Chris all the time. Okay, so
Builds patience.
kind of open-ended question here. Just because I'm dying to know what you think.
I do
So,
not think so.
You guys have done urban fighting. I know that you have. Sometimes it's a little more clusterfucky than others. But why would we choose to fight in an urban environment? Like, what are the importance of urban areas?
Huge, dense, like
Strategic
population
locations.
center, so
Not
like
permissive
usually
vehicles.
more like
Okay, hold on. We're
One at a
not
time.
doing this all gobble. So, Beans said resources. Elaborate further for me, Beans.
Resources, alright, so, I mean, look at the Middle East. Although it's mostly fucking desert, you know, there were a lot of key points in those fucking cities. You know, we were there to, in quotations, to win hearts and minds. You know, the civilian population, they are a resource. If we have their support, then you know they can dictate how we handle specific engagements. I should say.
Mm-hmm. Good.
You know, there's more stuff to it than just that, but.
Blazer, what was your answer?
Basically centers of gravity in the AO, or like a lot of things will run through it. Usually, like a lot more objectives are gonna be there. More
Oh,
important
you've
shit's
activated
gonna
my
be there.
trap card. What is the center of gravity, Laser?
Center of gravity is just like where like generally like the enemy forces or our forces, I guess, will like try to centralize their operations.
What's in your stomach?
Get this important
My stomach?
for everybody.
Yeah, like your center of gravity.
Oh, I thought
So
you could hear my
centers of
stomach.
gravity, I would argue, is a very double-edged sword here. In a special operations context, what do you think about when you think of centers of gravity? And then we'll go back to this other question. Anyone?
Crossroads.
Fortified as shit.
Okay.
Points in the enemy line.
So now yes. Okay. Between cheese and laser, we're starting to get the picture here. So laser talking about it being like super fortified. It's a centralized enemy position. It is a center of gravity, which means you can knowing where that is can help you find what cheese.
Fairpunk.
Okay, well no. I mean your point of weaker points in the enemy line. Yeah. So the special operations level, centers of gravity are neat for the enemy. Very rarely do we want to engage directly onto centers of gravity because that's not the point. That's for like conventional schmucks. They do the fighting in that kind of area, and even though we just by virtue of being players as opposed to AI can do better in CQB, it doesn't mean that's always the move, because you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, and a center of gravity can be used against the enemy just as much as it could be a benefit to us or to them as well. How can we turn a center of gravity against the enemy?
Bombing it.
Trap them.
Well, you're not technically wrong, although we want to typically preserve civilian infrastructure.
Sieging it, like kind of trapping them in the area so they can't get shit in or out.
You're so close. I would not say sieging, because that has a lot of different implications.
Cordon off the area.
I agree with those implications.
Getting access to resources for the enemy.
Yeah, you want to encircle them. So this, I'll give you an example from this past deployment, right? I kind of missed these days because I think I was out of town. But when you guys were on the initial map for the deployment, and the enemy were really dug into like those mountainsides with CSWs and all kind of shit like that, you guys went at what I would argue is an obvious enemy center of gravity. When you see an enemy center of gravity, every instinct in your body at this level should be telling you, don't attack that directly. Instead, cut it off. If you can isolate that center of gravity by going around it, by conducting ambushes on logistics that are necessary to upkeep and maintain that center of gravity, you can weaken the enemy's position there. And so that's how you end up... This concept of centers of gravity and what Cheese was talking about, Schwerpunkt, which we'll talk about later, this is one of those concepts that enabled a lot of changes to like modern warfare. And by what I mean by that is, like, I'm going to say post World War I in this example. So World War I was very much about attrition warfare, and the counterpoint to attrition warfare is what, everyone?
Maneuver warfare?
Maneuver warfare. So in attrition warfare, the idea is that you directly target those centers of gravity, and you slug it out with the enemy, and as long as we kill more than them, like, we'll be cool. Hilariously, without, I don't think, maybe realizing it, that was the same strategy employed in Vietnam with the whole, like, the kill count system and everything. It was like, well, we're killing more Vietnamese than they're killing us, so, like, we're winning. Are you sure about that? So it's a concept that just doesn't really work. Maneuver warfare stresses that these centers of gravity are neat, and they're necessary, and they can be important, but they can easily be nullified by isolating them and cutting them off. And that is how you result in something... are you guys familiar with, like, the Falaise Pocket in World War II?
No.
So during the invasion of Normandy, the Allies were pressing really hard. The British were doing retarded things because Montgomery is a fucking idiot, and probably autistic. Anyways, the point is, Allied forces managed to surround thousands and thousands and thousands of German soldiers in the Falaise Pocket, and they just walked the cordon in. Instead of attacking their center of gravity there, or especially like their defense and depth zone head on, they just encircled them. And that's how you end up with some sort of like Hearts of Iron encirclement where you capture like hundreds of thousands of dudes. Because what they thought was a conventional strong point is completely fucking meaningless if they can't get any logistics or any reinforcements, or they're just cut off from command. So in that regard, towns can be a center of gravity, and that is a case where read that situation and determine maybe it's not the best to take that on. Sometimes the magical powers that be that make stupid decisions at levels higher than Steven and I for simulation purposes will decide that attacking a town like this is ideal. They're wrong, but you know what? They're banking on the fact that we're better at it than your average bear, so they're going to send us in anyways. Going back to this importance of urban areas. So we know that it can be important for to serve as like a center of gravity, and in that case I would say you can base that into two parts on its symbolic importance to the region, perhaps, or also to just like the geographical advantage it has, because larger urban areas tend to like dominate culturally or politically the areas around them. What are other benefits or advantages, important points about urban areas that are applicable to us?
Human intelligence.
Human, yeah, I would argue that kind of builds on the resources point that Beans brought up.
Okay.
Terry, any thoughts?
They're more defensible when we have them.
No, I don't have anything that pops to mind.
Okay, all right.
have a thought.
So Mariel, they're more defensible when we have them.
Which obviously means they're more defensible for the enemy as well.
Right? No. But keep pulling on that thread. I think you're kind of onto something here.
If you need to have somewhere that in a region that is a strong point, an urban center is maybe better than a non-urban center.
Okay. Zoom in a little bit. Think more at like the operational or even the tactical level. That means that urban centers could be thought of in order to do what?
Stage from, be bases, be CCPs.
Okay, maybe not quite where I'm getting though. Flowers, what was your point?
Well, you said zoom in and it threw me off. But if I had to guess on the zooming in, I would say it can give kind of like a chance to rest, a place to like settle in.
So close. You guys are like so close. You're walking through the minefield of answers right now, and you're about to set one off. Kaiser.
Ambushes.
Yes. A little more specific, almost too specific.
It's a lot easier to take out tanks in a town than an open field.
Yeah, so you can also look at urban areas as a place where you want to attempt to draw the enemy in, right? And if you're fighting a force that we are not equipped to fight, and by that I mean any conventional force with mechanized or armored capabilities, that's not where special operations shines. Obviously, we've reached the era, we've kind of gone backwards doctrinally, where like infantry is king once again, because anti-tank weaponry has reached a point, I think someone put it well the other day, where if you think of anti-tank weaponry or anti-vehicle weaponry of any sort as swords and vehicles as shields, we have reached a point technologically where the swords are so sharp that you almost can't design a shield that could withstand it. And that's cool, but the downside of infantry is that if you're a soft target, you're going to get fucking mulched. And the only benefits you have are low detectability, low visibility, being able to sneak around and not really get seen by these big, large vehicles that kind of have blind spots, or pulling them into a town. And we've seen examples in the Middle East, we've seen examples in Russia, where a lot of countries, maybe they have a doctrine that states otherwise, but their commanders don't seem to follow it. Armored assets will follow you into a town unsupported because they have it in their head that tanks equals win. We know that's not true. And so if you can force them into a town with you, and I would argue, at least for us, this even works for enemy infantry. If you can force them into assaulting into a town that we control, thinking they're going to have the upper hand, it lets you isolate so many gunfights down at the tactical level, because now it's not a case of us in the open field against like a whole company. Now it's a case of your fire team squaring off against their fire team and change maybe as they come down the street or they enter the building across from you. You have a much higher chance of winning that than opening yourselves up to the full brunt of their indirect fire, all of their suppressive fire, all that kind of shit. So it can absolutely be a benefit there.
Black Sunday would be a good example.
Tell that story better.
All right, so first Cav, and it may have been a different Cav unit, but a Cav unit was doing routine patrol shit. Very generic. They got the enemy knew their movements so well that they essentially cornered them. They had to take up residence in buildings, and were stuck there. And then anytime rescue efforts were pushed in, they were essentially fucking knocked out. They were separating vehicles off one by one. And then, Black Hawk Down's a perfect example because they were doing the same shit there too.
Mm-hmm.
In urban areas like this, maneuverability is an infantryman's best friend. And so it's not really safe or smart to put vehicles in. And if we know that, like he said, the enemy will know that.
Excellent. So all of this, I hope, paints a picture for you of the ultimate point here, which is that urban operations is the most dangerous thing that infantry partake in. At the same time, it also poses an opportunity to be a very high-risk, high-reward situation because you can get some really lopsided engagements in a town, and you could win if you're better, which is why we need to be really good fighting these environments. I'm not going to worry right now too much about talking about your approach to getting to one of these urban areas. My brief little short list on that is that utilizing vehicles to get to the edge of town can help you maneuver through open space that small arms fire might have prevented you from crossing. Having strikers or LAVs or Bradleys are options that can get you to the edge of town. Sorry, I'm getting sick. And help you kind of assault into it. But you don't want them to hold your hand because immediately, as soon as you enter into the town, this becomes a death trap for them. And if they choose to come in, they have to stay moving and you have to stay moving. And it's really just not worth it. But they can get you there. Smoke is great, but I have a note about y'all's utilization of smoke screens for urban assaults lately. I'm concerned that you guys are hamstringing yourself by blinding yourself. So pull up your maps. And I want to talk about, so you see, we came in and we're on the eastern side here. Yeah, I know. I fucking hate the map. What I have seen from the past is that y'all's approach to dropping this smoke is we're going to assault.
We're on the western side.
I'm sorry. We're going to assault towards the western side. And then we're going to smoke like that. Does that look familiar to you all?
Yeah.
Okay, I would argue that's kind of silly. Because what happens is you guys get here and the smoke is still there, and now you have no idea what's on the other side here. And entering into this first section of buildings is now a lot more dangerous because you're walking into a blind situation. I would argue, and there's degrees of how you can do it, but at least to make me happy, I at least want to see your smoke look more like that. Why would I ask you for it to be a little bit more into town?
So that way we can get into town.
And we're also cutting off more of the enemies. So it's you're finding the fine line between what we can handle and what we can't. We can't handle the entire town, but we can handle a quarter of it.
Like the black line.
And where would you attack if that was the case? Finish this thought for me. You want to attack in?
Yeah. No,
So-
that's a
so
bad
you
arrow.
c- you could-
You're essentially nullifying a big section so you can attack the smaller bit.
Yeah, you could,
Or at
but
least
Chris,
move
why
into the
is he
smaller
going to
bit.
die if he does that?
Man didn't provide any any cover or concealment against any shooters
fucking
in any
that
of
did-
these fucking buildings. Anywhere.
Yeah, and barring that too, Muriel, you've now opened yourself to a three-way attack. Yeah, you don't want to leave one of your flanks exposed if possible. Now, obviously, you may not have the packs to flood each one of these, but you
Yeah,
want
that was
to
kinda
block
what-
off these guys. So the idea is, yes, there's obviously some risk still involved because we don't know what's here, right? Hopefully, we've done some leaders recon, we have an idea, but that doesn't always work because the AI likes to just sit exactly where the Zeus told them in the building, and you may not be able to see them with the recon that you want simply because they're just not visible through the windows or things like that. But the hope is you guys can handle half a block, right? I believe in you. So you can handle half a block, and by the time the smoke clears, now everyone else in the town, or pretend that you're like an enemy leader, your understanding is okay, the enemy are closing with my town. We will repel them. Now, all of your rear groups here have been obscured. They don't really want to rush into the smoke because, again, no one knows what's going to be on the other side necessarily. They hear a lot of gunfighting here, and by the time the smoke clears and it frees up their ability to maneuver at you for a counterattack again, now you're in the mix with them. And that's a lot more dangerous than them being able to shoot at you while you're still outside the town. So,
Question for you, Ted.
yes.
So what happens if, like, what would you do if there was like a confirmed like heavy machine gun emplacement, like where I'm like struggling right now, black?
Hit it with a launcher.
I'd blast it. I'd blast that bitch. No.
You
No,
can
no.
also
I mean,
use
I wouldn't
grenades
use
if you want.
artillery, but you've got a load of options. If you were being transported by one of the aforementioned vehicles, turn that gun on them. Have that autocannon take that shit out for you. Obviously, like, we want to do our best in all cases to try to preserve civilian infrastructure, but you guys at this point hopefully know that my attitude is if the enemy has decided that that building is important enough to turn it into a DFP, and it's like visibly a DFP with CSWs and sandbags and all that kind of shit, that's them deciding that that building is no longer important to keep standing, and we will respect that wish.
How often do you guys do mounted operations?
Almost every night.
All the time.
Yeah, pretty frequently. Even if it's just Humvees. It's nice having the extra support.
I mean, another way to take this, send your Humvees down the little dirt road, have them section off and create a choke point essentially, because you're more than likely going to get squirters over here on the where the main road heads off to the port,
Sure.
and possibly a gate right here. If you have maybe at least 2 vehicles watching right there, fire team watching this side as the rest of the main element comes in and pushes in. That would be one way to ensure every last person is neutralized.
Now, Beans, to flesh this out further, where-ish would you recommend those vehicles really be?
More than likely, you'll want them kind of obscured because, the road right here is pretty open. If there's a way to get them to higher terrain, that would be outstanding. It just depends on how dense vegetation is, because that is very crucial, and visibility, which will also tie into, what time of day it is. You can have your guns trained right here and then even right here, so like pretty much so you have both fields of fire covered, because obviously, there's a possibility, let's say this port is actually, has enemy response, they could send them all the way down right here, so you'll have that side covered.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, could you repeat your question just one more time?
No, I think you answered it. Why what Beans is suggesting would in effect do what to the objective area? Anybody?
Cordon it off.
Cordon it off or isolate it. Why is that important?
No reinforcements.
No reinforcements. You can prevent enemy from displacing out of the back of the town and maneuvering against you. If you really wanted to get fancy with it and you had the VIX to spare, you could choose not only to cut off approach avenues and covering the rear to contain this thing, if you wanted to, and assuming, I don't know how dense frankly, the visibility is up there, but you could also do what fucking LAR did in Fallujah, and you can set up little gun positions here and cover these cross streets. And every time the enemy tries to move down the cross street, they catch a 25 mil right in the face.
Exactly. Set up support by fire positions at each main road. That way you have that full view. Because even a 240 will be able to hit that quite well, even if it's all the way up here.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember how we did it in Mogadishu, actually. The Kenyans had their tanks watching the main avenues, all the MSRs around Mogadishu the whole time. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is something, so 2 areas that I think we need the most work, frankly, is our HI guys need to get their heads out of their fucking ass. But as my leaders that are here participating in this conversation, you should walk away from this knowing, hey, if we can't take the vehicles in the town with us, which most of the time we really shouldn't, they can break off and they can isolate the objective for us. Now, when you guys have Humvees, I know typically you use them just as transport and you don't have the packs to spare to like wheel that thing around. But Kurt really wants to push us in a direction where you're largely getting transported via at least in conventional settings, largely via like Stryker or LAV or Bradley, they absolutely are going to have crew dedicated to them, and you can break them off to isolate the objective or to fire down. This is perfect, right? Because the roads are really straight here. That's not always the case, so you can't always take advantage of that tactic. But you should get some mix out of it. Magnum, where there's a couple places, but in this scenario with this town as it is, where can your guys shine really well? He not here? Did I like imagine that he was here?
Magnum is not
Connor,
here.
say nothing if you're gay.
No, he is here. He's stood behind me.
Out there he is.
Oh.
I haven't heard him.
Connor, what do you think?
You asked about Crayon.
I went to take a piss.
Did you hear me though?
Oh yeah.
Which part?
So where could IO shine? Did you hear the example about the vehicles?
Yeah, I left after Beans had talked about that.
Okay, so
Fuck me, I guess.
yeah, what you missed?
Yeah, I heard him talking again. I'm like, man,
What
this
you
guy.
missed is what you also missed is we could use them to shoot down straight avenues, right?
Yeah.
It was a very good example. of what
Where
you said,
where could
honestly.
IO
Very
shine in situations like this?
Up along these ridges here, especially with the raw cover up there, assuming, yeah, it's down in a valley, so we could shoot down again on those corridors.
Yep.
This is downhill, this is downhill.
And assuming that's not feasible because the town's not straight and perfect like this, where could you guys go, even if we're employing vehicles?
We could also be in, yeah, we could be in the town as well.
You
Kind
could.
of
There's not
watching
enough
the-
height in this one, though, I think, to make use of that. The answer I'm looking for here, and I hate you, gun laser, is we talked about enemies coming from objective golf, right?
Okay.
As a small
Yeah.
infantry team, you guys can detect them coming from golf, and if you could
Yeah.
engage them, I mean that's one thing, but you don't have to, because the
Yeah.
idea is that we've got vehicles covering here. But now the vehicles get a heads up. Hey, there's definitely guys coming down this road.
Yeah, exactly, and what they are.
That could be where like something like Leaders Recon comes into play to a degree, or send off a separate section to provide
Well,
you know,
so Magnum
gather
needs
intel.
our smaller recon element. Beans
Oh,
was the
perfect.
point, yeah. So they can break off and be like, if they can't help us with, marksman fire, then they are able to turn around and say, hey, there's definitely movement coming this way. Here's the Vic count. This is the lead Vic, so that our vehicles know what's coming at them. All right, cool. Now into the actual fighting itself. How do I want to do this? I really don't want this to get super bogged down, and a lot of this is just not really that important.
Just do this first neighborhood.
Send like
Yeah.
a team at a time.
Well, so again, here's the decision-making things that you're going to have to worry about, right? You have to start to get a read on how dense is the enemy buildup in this urban situation. I would caution you to play it safe on the front end until you get a better idea of what's going on, and try to keep your squad together. Now, if you don't want to put your whole squad in one building, I understand that. But they all need to be close enough to support each other down one of these streets, and not like one team takes this street and the other team takes the other street. Like, you're going to get fucking chewed to pieces if you try to piecemeal yourself like that. Okay. Here's what I'll do to break this down. We know about bounding. Yes? Verbal, yes. You know what bounding is.
Yes.
Okay. I want you to take bounding as it applies as a concept, not directly the actions you're doing, but the important part of bounding at the leadership level is not to say, well, bounding is exactly these exercises. This is what I'm doing with my body. That's cool. That's fine. Bounding is also like an operational concept. It can scale up to the division level, even if you want to get like that far out. The idea is that it's just blocks moving with each other, supporting each other. Okay, that's like the smallest takeaway there. If you're going to handle these buildings, I want you to treat it as like building to building bounding.
Fallujah
And what I
style.
mean by that is having a team take a building, two teams move up, another team takes a building, your team from the first building then comes up with them, that kind of shit, and move your way down the street. I'm not going to stress over how exactly you guys want to enter rooms. I think that's pedantic and is really important in real life, but the AI in Arma is fucking atrocious in CQB. Chris, you spend all sorts of time blasting people in shoot houses. Does any of that ever really apply for you in Arma?
Yeah, because he can reach over the fucking plywood walls. That's not a good
Yeah, well,
example.
that's because, so they give Chris like a helmet, and he just juggernaut rushes like fucking through the wall, just crashes through them.
There's one thing that applies, and that's frag every room.
Hell yeah.
This nigga's Oryx in real life.
Yes,
Except,
but be careful doing
well,
that. Be
grenades
careful doing
also
that.
don't fucking work in Arma. That's the
No,
fun
they
part.
do. They at close range, they
I don't
absolutely
think
do.
you're using enough of them, Magnum.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
because
So
they'll knock
listen,
you out from the other
if
side
you
of
guys
the
want
fucking
to, I
wall.
would definitely recommend it becomes difficult, and this is a game where it's one of those things where you almost wish that we were like Russia and we didn't give a fuck about civilian infrastructure or like civilian lives, because obviously the best thing
every building.
well, the best thing is like, okay, we're just gonna like chuck nades into like rooms first. Except you don't know what's on the other side of that door all the time. It could be like a civilian family like hiding, right? Like, so then it's like, great, you just pulled like a fucking World War II and just like fragged some French family or something. So,
But when you frag a baby in that modern
so you don't want to do
warfare.
that. But there's value to that concept. And so beans, what else could you throw?
I mean,
Flash
nine
bang.
bangers.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that the first
Satchel
one
charges.
works on AI. It's just the ones after that don't. So it's very, very, very dependent. Unless you were able to make it to where we don't have the effects of the flashbangs,
Just
but
use
they
a normal
do.
flashbang instead of a 9-bang.
Yeah, well, or stun grenades might work too. But yeah, so you use non-lethal options and throw throwables into the room if you need to. I guess the other thing that is really important, I'm so afraid to ask this and someone tell me no. But if you don't know this, please tell me no, because we are going to need to cover this. Do you guys know what like pieing a door is? Please, God, tell me that you know what this is.
I love pie.
I should hope so.
How about this? Does anybody not? Again, this is leadership training. I need to know what you don't know. This is not an embarrassing thing. Does anybody not know what this is?
I am going to ask you guys to teach the rest of the unit how to do this weekend. If you don't know this fucking term, tell him right now. Seriously.
We get like a door frame.
Lucky we can combat glide
Yeah,
again.
we get like a door frame or something to like.
Oh, over there.
Yeah,
big
no,
building.
no.
Go to the door.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find a frame.
Afraid.
We have
Is there a
we
door
have a
frame?
door right here.
We'll just pie the butt.
Use a Connex contain. Use one of the smaller Connex containers, Chase, that you can open the door on.
I have none.
You don't have a cigarette.
No.
What's wrong with you?
Are these openable?
You want one?
I really
somebody
hope
took
these are
mine.
openable.
I have NVG slot cigarettes. You want one?
Let me see if that one's openable.
Oh, good looks. The coxswain has the cigarettes.
No, fuck me. Okay. Okay, the other side. Hold on. Let me point it the other way.
I drank. Sorry, I
Okay.
smoked
Good
a
side
pack and a
cigarettes.
half of cigarettes.
Exactly.
All right, gather around, children. Chris is gonna show you how to pie this door.
Alright, we'll gather around, but light me up quickly.
What kind of pie? Meat pie or fruit pie?
Neither.
If you're eating
Tart.
meat pie, you should kill yourself.
How about cream pie?
And that's coming from
Lucky
Chris,
there's
bro.
no
He likes
Aussies
the meat
here.
pies.
Lucky there's no Aussies here. Man. They back me up.
Chris
All right, so Chris is in a hallway. Chris is approaching this door. Chris, how are you going? So show us, but walk them through why that's important too, Chris.
Don't mess
when
up.
you're looking into a room, you want to try to kill as many of the people possible from outside of the room before you enter it. So you're just gonna have a bunch of fucking dead space everywhere, especially if there's like couches and shit. That's how people die. But
fuck couches.
when
You
you're,
also
when you're coming
want
up to it, like as long as you're not coming up to it like straight ahead, you still have an option to pie it. If you have coming in on the left side, oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
Oh yeah, I had that.
Press
Switch
F.
your pistol and back.
We're not.
Press
fuck it.
F,
I don't
yeah.
need ADS. I don't need that shit. Am I shouting? I guess I was on whisper. I'm shouting now. All right. So we're coming up on it from the side, right? We want to kill as many people inside from the frame. It's kind of a bad example because it's not really a room, just like a hallway. But we're peeking around the door, trying to see as much, like as far into the room as possible without exposing myself an incredible amount, right? And you're just trying to take off little sections at a time and give it like a second or two to see everything inside there. Some people use lights. I don't like to because it just tells you that they're there. But take a little section off at a time. See if there's anybody there. If there's there, you kill them and keep moving till you are leaning like this, looking through the hallway. You're ready to hit the room from here on out. The rest of the team's gonna come up behind you. You give people a little nod, and then you hit the room, or you throw a bang, or second man throws a bang while you're providing security. There's a lot that goes into
Yeah, I just TP'd him.
that I can only.
Riker, can you? Yeah, so
teach
Riker,
in
we
about,
don't
like,
do
2
that
minutes.
because if you do that, it turns off anybody being able to hear you and you disconnect. And we get a lot of new people that don't know how to play Arma, and then they're like, Team Far disconnects because T-Far sucks, and then they're just dead to the world, and we don't know they need help. So the password to this channel is the same as the server password.
You gotcha.
Does anyone have any questions before? Yeah. Does anyone have any questions on
Y'all
like things you could do
understand
differently?
how to pie a door?
You pie the room. You take little slices of the pie. You don't take the whole
Yeah, yeah.
pie,
You-
or
you
you
gotta-
get too full. You understand?
You gotta teach them this. You gotta teach them this.
I usually
And
eat
so-
the whole pie.
What Chris has done,
That's why you die.
and ideally Chris is able to get like
Heart
maybe a little bit of
disease.
the left side. Let's pretend it's a door. But the only other thing that I need you to know, I'm not going to worry about a lot of specifics, but there's a couple things that guys need to follow that I don't think is like too gratuitous in order to teach them. The second one is corners. Holy God, check your fucking corners, bro. I have watched you guys go into a room and
Can we
Rough
do it
Riders-
over there?
Yeah,
for, like-
well, I just got to find one that's actually got a... Here, go to the blue one down here. I think this one has what we're looking for. All these fucking Greek doors don't have...
That hot dog
like,
video
all
was
the corners
crazy.
that-
Right.
Okay.
That was too much protein on one hot dog.
That's what I've been sitting here doing. When Chase asked me that question, I had no clue what was going on.
Corner fed to the left. Where does the first person go
Not paying
in this
attention,
room?
Terry. That's
Always
terrible.
to the left. Yeah, okay, now where does the second person go? Or straight forward, right? But so what some people do is when the first man takes the first corner, sometimes they take a second one, and now you have, if you can see within me, we've got this door closed. All of this is clear space, right? Obviously nobody in here. And then the 3-man and 4-man, or how many there are, just repeat the exact opposite. So 3-man goes left, 4-man goes right. It's a little more
Now,
complex with.
I
like,
would love for you
big
guys to
rooms.
enforce this idea that the front man always goes what side?
Left.
To the left.
But it's
the
not
front man is
always
never wrong.
Least resistance.
Yeah, as long
Yeah.
as they're going vice versa, it doesn't always have to be left.
Okay, but that's the point that you have to bring up, because what's going to happen is some NCO is going to tell them, I learned that the first guy always goes left, and then the next one goes right or straight, and then inevitably Private Fucknuts does this,
Yeah, it just
and
goes
then
into the
your
corner.
whole exercise is fucked up because no one can like rub two brain cells together. So try to push them in that direction, but understand that like stupid ass things are going to happen. And so if they walk away from this tomorrow or Friday, if they walk away from the training Friday understanding I need to pay attention to what direction the front guy goes, and I need to make sure that I very quickly take the second so that guy doesn't get blasted in the back, I will be happy. Okay? As long as you can at least get that point across to them, I will be very happy. Now, another thing that you noticed that Chris did that Chris didn't mention, like what parts of the room did Chris touch when he stepped into the room?
The wall.
Man, he went
The
all
wall.
the way in the fucking corner.
Chris did not walk through the fucking room. Don't walk through the fucking room, okay? Drill that into their head. Stick your ass on a wall and walk the fucking walls. Please do not let them cross through that dead space. Because I see so many guys doing that shit and they get fucking blasted.
You got Magnum's crayon up your
So,
ass.
really, really, really beat that into them. That needs to be the biggest takeaway. Obviously, we have like the shoot house range and stuff. That's cool, whatever. Again, so much of the finer points here just don't apply because the Arma AI are stupid. This stuff does still. And some of it maybe is not as mechanically beneficial or maneuverably beneficial as it would be in real life, but it looks nice. It does legitimately lower their chance of just getting fucking murked. And if you can convince them that it's like super high speed, they're gonna be like, "Oh fuck yeah, Chris said that's high speed as fuck. I'm doing that shit." So use your leadership influence to play into these guys' egos,
Also,
and
if you
get
walk in the middle
them
of the
to do
room,
the
all
shit
the AI
that you
are
need
gonna
them
see
to.
you like instantly. They're all gonna target you instantly, so you're gonna be like super fucked. Walk in the middle of the room, you're so dead instantly. You can walk in, hook the wall, keep it tight. You allow more
Does this
people
have
to
a
be able to
door?
follow you into the room, so you can all engage the targets. You don't want to be, you're the point man, especially, or if you are the point man, or if you're designating the point man, the point man is gonna try and make the hook so more people can get in behind him, so he's not like blocking the doorway for you guys. And we just got that mod that makes it so that people are not blocking doorways. So please, when you're instructing these guys, hook and hug the wall.
I'm just gonna ask this question out loud. If I step through this doorway and I get blasted right here, what do you do?
Keep going through the fucking door.
Get through the goddamn door. Don't stop. Don't treat me. Get into the fucking building and then worry about it. You would, at bare minimum, you need to clear the ground floor. You really should clear the whole fucking building before you worry about it. That guy, fucking dice roll was not in his favor. Do not get yourself killed just because some dude went down right in a doorway or going up the stairs or some shit like that. I know in the past you didn't have a choice. That's why I added that mod recently where unconscious guys can be like moved through.
You're lucky they took that.
Extremely beneficial to us, especially in CQB. Like, we find ourselves a lot where maybe we had to kind of move over one of our guys, so it's very important now, especially that.
Gunlaser, what things are you going to teach guys on Friday?
How to move into the room specifically, cover all the corners that the first guy's going to miss because he's only going in one direction.
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't
okay.
let,
That's one thing. What was the first thing before you get into the room?
What do you mean,
Flashbang it. Flashbang.
What was the first thing we talked about? I mean, flashbang. Pieing the door.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Okay.
want to see you guys do it now.
But there's
That's
also
fine.
there's another thing that you'll miss. You have to keep in mind which way the door hinges, because if I'm gonna stack up, well, I guess it doesn't really matter as much on this build.
No, that does matter.
Typically,
Now, not necessarily on your stack, but you need to know which way the door opens.
One or two man. You're gonna have somebody opening the door right here, and then you're going to have everybody else stack up. Obviously, dependent on the window. So, like, Chris would say breacher ready, and I would say breacher ready. He opens the door, and then I move in left, and point my corner, and then then we're all focusing on a single point, and which would be the next doorway or a corner that wasn't taken by somebody, essentially.
And you just keep going, blow through the whole house. Shit's gonna happen. Something. The Marine Corps expects like 88% casualties in clearing houses. So
ideally,
it's rough.
What's
and you guys have
is
seen
you
that.
get less than 10% on a mission, but it's Arma. You're not going to be able to recreate that. This shit is fucky as hell.
Another important point here and this goes back to a whole host of issues that I've seen lately, is that you have to fucking communicate, okay? So, Beans, when you go and you take that left, how are you going to call that?
Literally just say left clear.
Yes, but that's important, and that sounds silly, right? You think, well, that's obvious. Everyone would do that, but they don't. I've seen you motherfuckers. People don't do that shit. You need to call out your direction clear, because this guy is not really looking at that. Especially if this was like in the middle of a room, he's looking over here now. He's got to know behind him is clear. That stuff's really important. The best thing that I could tell you, and this applies for pretty much anything to do with comms, treat it as if you I don't know if schizophrenia is really the appropriate term here, but treat it as if you're like a kid with a very rampant imagination, like Terry. Terry has a very rampant imagination. Right?
Yep.
You should dictate what's going on. Almost like you're something that applies. Almost like you're LARPing or some shit, okay? dictate, like narrate what you're doing, and like, oh, right clear, doorway, like back the room, or hey, doorway open, or on, let's see, these buildings, follow me. You guys know where I'm going with this, hopefully.
Stairway.
So you should point out the stairway, but then when you guys come up here, you'll see what I'm talking about. This one gets a little tricky.
We ain't all gonna fit up here. How did I get hurt?
We'll all fit up here.
Excessive terror.
You gotta get your reps in when you
This
can.
room could present a serious
Plus, I like
dilemma
looking at
for you.
windows.
Why might this room present a dilemma based off the information that you have so far?
Because you can't really clear 2 rooms at once if you're a small team. You got that
True,
to cover, and then
but
you
if
got
you're
this corner,
stopping at
and
every
you got
single
this one.
doorway, the nature of trying to stack on this one means that someone has to step into the room and is now exposed to fire behind that wall.
Yes.
Or, arguably even worse, now you're stacked on the stairway.
Yeah.
That's not a great place to be.
Oh,
That's
so
a
you
really
leave that
shit
door
position to be
closed.
stuck in.
So you leave that door closed, leave
But
that
it's
one
not
locked.
enough. But it's not enough to leave the door just closed, though. As a team leader, what do you need to dictate and make sure happens? Someone has to watch this door.
I was about to say that. I was literally going to say what you did. With a grenade.
No.
Come up these stairs. TL.
That's how I clear a building.
One guy watching. The easiest way. Get somebody to be able to move past these stairs, which I don't think.
What if you threw a practice grenade in there?
Somebody can watch the door.
Does a 9-bang.
No.
The practice grenade doesn't do anything.
Shit, even fucking throw a flashbang in there or a grenade.
Honestly,
That
like,
way.
yeah, if you come up the stairs to this shit, right, and you're still in the stack, you got, 4 people total, right? The TL and the 2 other guys are gonna split to clear this shit over here, while the second guy just fucking chills right here, just like this. It kills anything that comes through the fucking door, or right in front of it, if you prefer that. But it needs to have security on it, otherwise you're all gonna get fragged by Zeus, if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, and when issuing orders, this is kind of a general thing. I have all my NCO candidates here, right? Okay, and even for, like, Dawa. When you issue orders, you need to do what? And I know that's a vague question. But, no way. Flowers, when you issue an order to someone, what do you need to do, like, to make sure that point gets across?
Saying their name helps.
Yes, you need to say someone specifically. Do not say somebody take the door, because then no one will take the door, or everyone will take the door. Say, Flowers, take the door. Dawa, you and me taking left side, Chris backing up Flowers. Okay?
On the door.
First of all, you have to know who's in your fucking team. But you have to specifically say, you person that I'm specifically naming.
I'm schizophrenic, I don't remember my teammates.
Me halfway through the op.
It's
Who's
really
on my team?
fucking lazy when you just say, someone take that door. Sure, that proves that you know, like, kind of what you're talking about, but, like, that's really ineffective communication of orders. People need to know what is my job specifically right now. What does the team leader want me to do? They're willing to comply. We really
Why
don't
am I
have,
here?
we've kind of weeded out all the
Oh my
shithead
God, that
guys,
must kill.
and I'm sure we'll get more, but we tend to bully those people out.
Opens fanny
Right.
pack.
So give them a fucking clear sense of direction, and they will comply because then they
Also, I didn't think
understand
that
what the
cam
fuck
light would go through.
that you
'Cause
actually
there's a
want them to
window
do.
there.
But if you
It's like
don't
it's
do
open.
that, you have no
No.
ground to be frustrated when
I don't
they
think
don't
so.
do what you say. Because you didn't do what you were supposed to do to make sure that guy understands, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Okay, cool. Let's go back downstairs. Move it, JTAC. Where's your radio backpack, Riker?
I'm back to being a private, apparently.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can't join a section.
CCT, man.
Well, talk to Bandit about it then.
Good. Good answer. All right. So that's what we're going to cover with CQB stuff. Remember, please God, I guess final notes, don't bite off more than you can chew. Understand, do you guys all know what combat power is? When I say combat power?
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta
the
take
thing
this.
in Hoi 4.
No. No, and it's not a fucking Dragon Ball concept either. What I'm talking about is knowing realistically how much combat power you have to bring to bear. As a team leader, it's like, oh, I've got like 3, maybe I've got 5 people if we like did the Omega teams tonight, right? You can't take fucking 3 buildings in a row with just those dudes. If I see you breaking off buddy teams to take 1 building, especially this early in the course, and you have no idea like how dense we're talking about resistance here, you're a clown. Don't be a fucking clown.
This sounds like a challenge.
May I
Don't
add
do that shit.
something?
Sure.
So one of the biggest things they preach to us in the army would literally fall under combat power. So, and this extends to any kind of engagement. The biggest thing to take into consideration is your odds. Ideally, you want to have 3-to-1 odds over an enemy that you will come out on top. So, in clearing out a building, like he said, don't break off into fucking buddy teams. It's stupid as hell. Fire team, more than, especially since we're in quotations, special emphasis on special forces. So, a fire team is going to have that 3-to-1 odds, even if they're fucking, there's 10 guys in there. Likely you guys will come out on top, assuming you know what you're doing and do it right. That's all I had on that.
No, it's good. Yeah, please don't commit again, that goes back to don't bite off more than you can chew. Which is a very vague way of getting at what Beans is getting at. All right. That's what we're going to talk about with the urban stuff, and then obviously Kurt's going to throw in, live shooting into the mix here. Remember to keep up that communication, and what I mentioned about orders upstairs needs to apply across the board. From some of my newer NCOs, and especially from my WLC candidates, one of the things that I frequently hear from you guys is like, well, I don't want to seem like I'm like micromanaging because I don't want to be like, up people's ass. As a fire team leader, that's literally your fucking job. You need to issue specific orders to everyone in your team very frequently. And if you want to break that team down into their like buddy teams and say, I usually do buddy teams by colors because it's funnier and a little more high speed. No, not like that. But if you want to, what is going on? I don't care about those fucking gay ass noises. If you don't issue those orders, you're gonna get murked because guys are just gonna like try and take initiative, and like sometimes that's cool. You don't really want that in a very controlled situation like this. So you need to direct them in clear terms, like, hey, I want you two covering like down the street, or squad leader says one team's going to continue to cover down the street while one team takes the building, things like that. But it needs to be like very specific ideas and plans that you're giving them frequently. Keep them on task, keep them directed. Don't leave them in a situation where they're like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now, so I'm just going to do this, because that's how somebody goes off and does something like rogue and stupid, and you guys get murked.
You guys, in your fire teams, you designate like colors to your battle buddy teams. Like, yeah, you guys are going to be blue and you guys are going to be red. It may even be easier for you also to be like, hey, red, cover the stairway. Blue, you guys take exterior security. It's just, even helping yourself be organized like that will help you try and guide them also.
Brown.
Yeah, but as a team leader, you really should kind of be up people's ass. Like, I promise you that's not the perception that your like team guys will have. They're going to be like, oh, wow, like Cheese is like really in control and like he's making sure that we're like doing this stuff. They're not going to walk away from you being very clear and precise with your direction and like, wow, that guy just wouldn't shut the fuck up. It's literally your fucking job. And if you wind up with some bad egg that's like, man, team leader was just like really up my fucking ass, then like that guy's not going to stick around. Like they just won't. Because they don't realize, or that maybe they don't have the mental fortitude to realize that you're not doing that to be like a dickhead. You're doing that to like keep control of the situation and make sure they don't get fucking killed. Okay, cool. Let's move on to ambushes.
You can do both, though.
Elaborate.
What do you mean? I can be a jerk and still mean what I'm saying.
Sure. No, you're right. I do that all the time. Holy shit. Shut up in side chat.
We're seeing a lot of NCOs talking shit in side chat when they should be paying attention.
Yeah, if I like, I'm gonna be real. Like this is being done. Like I could be playing fucking World of Warships right now. So, you know, you have to have some of this written down because if we do this fucking Friday and Saturday and you guys look like you touched the Orb of Confusion, and I pull fucking Beans to the side and I'm like, hey Beans, like did Zeno go over that stuff we talked about Monday? And he says no. I'm gonna slap the taste out of your fucking mouth.
You can't. You took the fucking melee.
God damn it, Chris.
You don't know what taste is, Mariel.
No piss and shit, man.
Right, got a spice bag at the Chinese shop. Got my chips and
No, not the spice bag. I don't even know what it is.
Nah,
No, I meant chips. Yeah, I meant chips. Got my curry sauce and my sweet sour sauce, and I dumped it on me chips.
It's too
Alright.
spicy. Chinese.
I think I'll order me a Chinese. Alright, cool. So ambushes. When we're talking about ambushes, we're talking about shapes. What kind of shapes come to mind?
L.
Okay, that's the easy
enemy
one.
will take.
That's the easy one. Okay.
You.
Ooh, that was a shape with some chest hair. Who said that? Yeah.
If you're at the
I learned about it today.
Yeah. Why is a V a shape with some chest hair, Flowers?
From the video I watched, the concern he talked about was friendly fire considerations.
Yes, and here, I will tell you this. Largely, those friendly fire considerations haven't been that big of a deal in the past. One, because you guys know how to shoot, but also because we're largely shooting 5.56 into armored targets, and it's not going all the way through them.
But now,
this will go fucking through them. So you gotta be real fucking careful about that, because you might be trying to blast the enemy in front of you, but the other team is on the other side of the street, and you've just fucking like hit them too. That's why we try to avoid V-shaped ambushes, unless what, Flowers?
Elevation. You don't.
Thanks, Flowers.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Elevation. Also, unless you like don't have the cover or concealment to do any other kind of ambush.
I would still, at that point, I would try maybe not. If you don't have the cover or concealment, Flowers, are you really doing an ambush, brother?
No, I meant like for any other kind of ambush.
I
like the terrain.
I would
Met
still
TC.
shy away from. I'm not bold enough to try and attempt a V without. That's one of those that you really only pull out if the terrain meets your needs. But when we talk about elevation in the V consideration, what do we mean by that, Flowers? Lay out a picture for me of like what do you really mean?
Like on the map?
No, don't draw it, but just talk to me. Like what does the terrain actually need to look like though?
Preferably, it'd be like if we had high ground. Obviously, we don't want to ambush from the low ground.
On one side or
on both sides?
On both sides.
Falling asleep. What? Sorry. My bad.
Yes, so you want to shoot down into them to mitigate that risk. Don't shoot across. If you're a fucking psycho and you're a Ukrainian, you can do what the Ukrainians do lately, which is the U-shaped ambush. That's fucking unhinged. But okay, so you've got high ground, Flowers. Tying into our discussion that we just had, what kind of high ground?
Elevated high ground.
Oh my god!
No way.
Okay. Let's see.
Not too high.
Laser. What kind of high ground works?
Maybe a valley.
Okay. Yeah. Valley. Dawa. What else?
Saddle even.
It's all around you.
You could do it in
Literally
a city.
all around you.
Trees. Like a
Buildings. You can shoot down at them from the building.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
Or you could make your own high ground and fly in with helicopters.
Air assault doesn't really accomplish the same.
The air assault ambush.
Air assault.
Like that fucking Call of Duty mission.
No, we did it in Mali. We flew the Black Hawk alongside the vehicle,
No,
and
you
then we
fucking
shot.
sling load the fucking
Yeah,
boat.
but something that Sicario-esque works if you're fighting like fucking Hajis or like skinnies, but like that does not work
we did
against.
it.
Yeah, because
when
they
we
were those
fighting CDs
categories.
and Hodges.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
so
that,
it's
that does
it's
not work against like a
irrelevant, is it?
conventional force. They're just gonna fucking blast you, dude. Some BTR is gonna be like, "That's cool," and just fucking delete you. All right, cool. So ambushes, we've got two like kind of degrees of ambush, I guess is the way we're gonna say it. So we're I'm trying to find where's a good spot.
Oh, that's a
Trey, is
sick
there a
draw.
cool ambush spot?
Hold
on, let me look. Start looking around the map.
Actually, what's over
You
here?
did
got
ice,
this.
probably.
Is that the high ground or the low ground?
That's like a little valley.
Said
I
you
think.
wanted some elevation.
Okay,
Like this.
well.
Where is this on the map?
God damn it.
153.
One
Or-
time.
No, that
you,
works.
you had to.
You had to.
That works. I'm gonna grab everybody.
Almost as good
Don't
as
grab
the,
me.
Hey,
objective
Magnum.
echo.
Don't
Pull
grab
me.
Either paying attention.
Yeah.
Yo.
Those hands.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long did you spend driving that?
Whoa.
Oh shit!
You didn't pull the air, guys? That was immaculate.
What happened to the bus?
No more bus.
I don't want to drive all the way over here, bro.
What are you, a fucking
But
loser?
our RP.
Okay.
My immersion.
Bring it over.
My immersion.
All right. For the sake of this little exercise, this little theoretical exercise, the enemy is approaching. Let me make sure we are where I thought I'd pulled us. Yes, we are.
Damn, you're doing an entire bus?
So the enemy is going to be moving from objective Charlie to objective Echo, and we want to ambush them along this road. Let's start with the classic, an L-shaped ambush. Where do you want to put it, and how do you want to sort that out?
A bend in our road, preferably.
So where now? Where are you gonna put it?
Hold up, let me pull up the map. A little more south of us, like here.
Where are you gonna
Okay.
put it? Gun laser.
Yeah. So I would have one team looking to the road, and then one team like to the side of the
That's a
road.
W.
Yeah, we keep getting those W's.
Okay. So what are, from a leadership perspective, right? It's not enough to just know like this is the shape of ambush I want to do.
Hold on.
What
Noah.
are the considerations to actually making that happen?
Well,
Downhill. That's downhill, not uphill.
yeah. My intention was like to put it here,
You
I
want to
mean,
shoot
you got
him
a little
down?
bit of a saddle right
and then I would
here,
put one here. Yeah.
so you could put them on both sides if you really wanted to. It's just the terrain's not very favorable.
Wait, this.
This bit is lower than this bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're shooting uphill though.
Read terrain
I mean,
lines.
I was initially planning like here, and then I switched out to there.
Oh, that's where we are
Are
in
you
the map.
at where you started?
Yeah, we're like all the way here actually.
Where,
We're like
where
here.
are we over here?
We're to the east.
So can you draw the L?
Yeah, sure.
Like there.
Yeah, like here.
That's
Oh,
where we
okay.
are.
I was in the very
I
wrong
was looking
spot.
somewhere else.
We're right there. That way.
Wow.
Yeah, we're in that red circle.
Yeah, no, but like literally, if you can turn and look to it,
Strongest
so this is a
NCO
big part of
line
doing
knife.
also fucking leaders recon when you're trying to set up an ambush area. When you're going to the area, you can literally see it, right? Like, be like, is that what I want to ambush on, right? A lot of it is like using your eyes. You know, we spend so much time looking at maps, and obviously you have to look at the map sometimes too, and looking at drones, and, like the whole nine. But you gotta like literally look at this place, be like, is that where I'm gonna ambush them? You know, maybe I can shift it a little to the right, you know, and then adjust the map to how you actually see it. You know, you're there also.
All right, so we're gonna say that this is a deliberate ambush, in the sense that you have time to prepare for it and things like that. From a planning standpoint, laser. No, I picked on you too much. Cheese. From a planning standpoint, what kind of stuff do you need to make sure gets handled?
He's not here.
Is he just had to leave? He literally just had to
Oh, what
leave.
the fuck?
I know. I know.
Paying attention, man.
Flowers.
Yes.
Same question.
Can you repeat the question?
What kind of stuff do you need to make sure is like handled, you've planned out, is maybe constructed or deployed, which is kind of
So, like actual
cheating,
fighting
but,
positions, if you have any kind of mines you can use, those would be awesome. Make sure your sight lines, your overlapping fields of fire are like set up and bitchin'. Got your machine gun set in the best possible spot. all those kinds of really cool things. Our rally point, and also a big one is security. A lot of ambushes get fucked off by getting just flanked.
Excellent. So, first of all, Flowers, tell me where you want to place this L-shaped, and then draw me like where you want to put your security team, how you want to employ any sort of explosive, barriers. We'll say that way.
Okay.
And what kind of considerations you want to give to like your team leader, or as a team leader, you want to look out and say, this is what I'm looking for when I pick my position for real.
So going off the L that we have, the machine gun, or just your squad support weapons in general, to have your best fields of fire, because those are like your main man killers. So typically they would be on this end of the ambush, so they can just fire on the fucking road and light that bitch up. Personally, I would want to place like the barricades or mines like right smack fuck in the middle of the ambush, but not like, you don't want to put it too close to where you're risking your element right here getting spotted. Also, if it's too far forward, they could just push through anyway, but if you're not too far back, because otherwise they'll just put that bitch in reverse. As far as like security elements, if all of your guys in the ambush are watching these ways, having someone over here watching off to the southwest would be really nice, and having someone watching off to the northeast. You could get people watching.
If you only get one, where should you put them?
Over here, watching to the northeast, then watching their back pretty much.
Okay, cool. Does anybody have any critiques of his explosive plan?
Can I ask them, man?
Yes. Yes, Moreo.
Looking at the terrain on a more zoomed out scale, the crest of the hill is like there. And we're right the way down a long way from the hill. I think we could maybe utilize that crest to be more concealed, moving up to the ambush, if you know what I mean. Like by placing it closer to the crest of the hill, so they've got less chance to see us on the way up.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's good.
But also there's less cover up for this section.
Who said my point about the explosives? Is that Magnum?
Yeah.
Why, Magnum? Why don't you want the explosives right in the middle?
Because you want it to stop the first Vic, and then you also want to have an element further back. So if it was me, I would have my ARs along the side. I'd have an AT at the back, and then my mines would be in the front. So the front Vic would get blown up by mines trapping the front. My AT would take out the guy in the back, trapping however many Vics in the middle for my ARs to take out.
Okay, good. You're getting more into the thrust here. So you could also employ claymores or something in the back, something more controlled, to try to isolate the back. But what Magnum's doing here is attempting to keep them in the kill zone, right? Because you guys know what is our response to an unblocked ambush.
Push through that shit.
Yeah, fucking get through that shit. The enemy are not retarded, right? So that's going to be their hope too. My issue, trying to not get too tangential here. I'll worry about that for now. So anyways, right, you want to keep them in the kill zone. You can use controlled explosives to try and do that. You could use AT guys. Obviously, there's a chance they might miss, but hopefully our guys are like big dick enough that they don't. And you want to hit them with everything you got. The idea is it's very similar to some of the like psychological aspects of direct action, in the sense that the goal here is to punch them in the face as fucking hard as you can so they cannot respond. So throw buzzwords at you. A lot of it is about violence of action. A lot of it especially is about lethality. You've got to fucking murk these guys quickly. Which means as a team leader, following the initial kickoff of engagement, what is your immediate priority?
Kill.
No, armored vehicles, so anything that can kill you, BTRs, BMPs, tanks.
Okay, that's part of it. But what, as in, like, what do you literally need to do as a team leader? Terry?
I would be thinking about time. How long we have before either a QRF shows up that we need to get out, or indirect or something like that.
Yep, that's good consideration. What else, Kaiser?
I think Aya said it. making sure that your guys are hitting the targets of priority first.
Yes.
Mhm.
And Laser, that's more the answer I was looking for. Your job as a team leader, as soon as this kick off, is not necessarily to shoot back. Your job now, the thing that you have to control is direction of fires. And you have to make sure guys are seeing what you're seeing, shooting what you wanting them to shoot, and prioritizing targets that you feel are the most important.
And you should have
as they
been
pop up.
coaching them ahead of time anyway.
Yeah, and you definitely should, especially for like a deliberate ambush, when you have time to like prepare that and say like, hey, I want you to prioritize these kind of targets first, but the situation may change once it kicks off, and so you have to be giving them clear direction of fire, especially if you're controlling ARs, right? That's a lot of kill power. That's really useful, but not guided, it becomes significantly less Chad, because they're just going to shoot shit they see, and maybe you see something that's more important. So communicate that to your guys. Which goes back to consistently a problem is C2. You've got to exert command and control very quickly. Yeah, we can. And before we do that, Flowers, one of my chief concerns, especially with you guys in L-shaped ambushes, is that on the road side here, you guys really tend to just be like, okay, this is my L-shaped position. I see this shit from you guys so much that it's like fucking painful, dude. Why is this a terrible idea? Chris?
They will run you over.
Run your ass over. Whenever the AT guys over there blow the fuck up out of the vehicles, you will die.
Yes. But also, you have no fucking cover here. And so what happens is I watch one of y'all's L's just fucking wilt because you guys are fucking like pants on head stupid. This does not mean that like when the squad leader draws the L that you have to stand exactly on the fucking L, okay? Like that's not the point. You need to you're looking for a general shape, right? You're not looking for like, oh well, it's got to be like exactly this, so we have to be like exactly on the fucking road, like out here in the fucking open, like hell yeah, no. Yeah, it's the technique. It's not like the exact fucking like Power Rangers formation that you're building.
Yo, the Ginyu Force.
Yeah, there is no substitute for using the terrain or the cover or the concealment to your advantage, okay? And if that means, this goes back to what Kurt was saying, you guys love to plan these kind of operations on a map and then just like stick with that plan. Do your fucking leaders recon. Look at what it actually looks like and then say, you know what, like as it's shown on the map, that like actually obviously doesn't make any sense. So we're going to move it this way, or actually you guys are going to go to this position, things like that. And from a team leader level, that means you have to take the initiative to like find a good position that still kind of fits in the plan here. From a squad leader level, that means you need to give clear direction to your team leaders and say, hey, I want you to be the bottom of the L, and I want you to fucking find a good position that actually has good concealment, cover, whatever, and then engage from there. So the last part to these kind of ambushes is a decision that has to be made. You don't always have to do this. Sometimes maybe it's not like what we're looking for, especially in the case of like, oh, we're just hitting like a supply convoy or something, right? But sometimes it is important, and that decision is, do we assault through the ambush area or not?
I will add that kind of stuff is very dependent. With ambushes, you don't always have to unless you're after something specific.
Yeah, intel is about the only time I'd want to. Intel or
It's Met
HVTs.
TC dependent.
And I love you both. It's almost
Exactly.
like that's
Good
exactly what I just said. That was like exactly what I.
I'm glad all
Okay.
you guys are on the same page.
But I'm glad that you're up on it enough to be able to offer that, because I don't need brainlets. No, you're good. I would rather that than someone who's just like.
I do want to
Piggyback what the captain said. I'm going to say exactly what he said.
If you guys want to look a little bit further south, I did kind of set up what we would be looking at for an ambush. Dependent on, we do have good recon of the terrain and we can make use of it. Obviously, we're not there, but that's where we're, ideally what is going to be set up. Typically, though, you're going to want your ambushes, if at all possible, to be within hand grenade range. But I'm assuming, we have people that are, cooking up with fucking grenade launchers and all that, so that's fine.
No. He's getting into a point here. What kind of ambush is this Beans?
This can be either or. This could be deliberate. It could be hasty.
No. But talking about our little stupid geometry shapes here. What is he laid out here? This is an important part.
A V.
No, this is not a V. It's a line.
Oh well, that
the linear ambush, guys. The linear.
But this is an important part. I'm glad Beans did this, right? When Rough Riders hear linear ambush, y'all's first thought is, he said line, so it's got to be a straight fucking line. Okay. Notice, if you squint your eyes, what Beans has laid out here is still a fucking line, but it's a line that makes use of the fucking terrain. Okay. We're not talking like when a squad leader or platoon leadership tells you like, hey, give me like a hasty, like one of these kind of ambushes, or give me a deliberate, like this kind of ambush. It doesn't mean like that exact fucking thing, dude. It's the concept. You're going for the concept. And so the concept of a line ambush versus an L ambush, what's the big point, I guess, to help you? Anybody?
Use the terrain.
Okay. But between the two of them, Dawa, what's the difference? What's like the actual important difference?
One of them is shooting into the road and like alongside it.
You're killing me,
Blocked
Terry.
and unblocked.
Yeah.
Okay, blocked and ambush. Okay, that's not where I was going, but that is true.
I don't know what
That
you're
is
asking.
true. So what I'm going for here is you're shooting them from one side, or you're catching them in a crossfire. Does that make sense? There's not a whole lot of crossfire necessarily going on here. Yes, your fields of fire are going to overlap. Right,
a lot of
but you're
times
not
it's
hitting
what
them from
you
multiple
want.
directions, and that's what kind of dictates more that this is more linear than not, as opposed to, we're gonna put another team like
On the
and you can even
opposite
spread this
side.
out. Like if obviously this wouldn't be within necessarily the range you wanted, but if we had like the weapons section and they brought like crew serves, you put your other section here if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point.
Because now you're hitting them from two sides.
You're whispering.
Oh, you're whispering.
Yes.
There,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. Do you guys have an active weapon squad?
We do. Yes.
It's more
Okay,
of a cult, but
Talk to the guy behind you.
Who's still digging?
They're a cult.
yeah, more
They
of
are a
cult.
cult.
I can respect it.
Yeah.
Does anybody that's not weapon squad, how could we utilize weapon squad to open up an ambush? Well, and let's say we have weapon squad. We have, because your weapon squad typically they're gonna have a total of, in quotations, I want to say 4 teams. So you're gonna have two. Well, this is for standard, obviously. This is fucking spec ops type shit. So equipment's going to vary. But you're gonna have 2 close combat missile teams, and then you're going to have 2 240 teams. So you could honestly place those on either side. That way, whenever, let's say, the first vehicles are, as soon as they hit fucking, we'll say phase line 3, which can be right here. Well, as soon as they hit that boom, they actually start opening up, and you can, which I can. Does anybody know what like a phase line would be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's very.
You could use phase lines. You can use LOAs. We got those too.
All right, big brain. All right, so we got phase line. Fucking, we'll do. We'll
There's
put
even
a
alpha,
point
beta,
right
and all
here.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That
So going from fucking east to west, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Once they hit phase line 4, fucking open up. But anybody have some recommendations on what could be used to open up? It doesn't have to. You can obviously place mines. So let's say we're doing a hasty ambush.
Brady's carrying one.
Could just use AT solutions of sorts.
AT solutions, fucking exactly. Best way to open it up. Take out the fucking lead vehicle, block the road the best you can, because then that causes the vehicles behind them to adjust. Use a fucking javelin or a Maz, preferably a javelin, in my honest opinion, because
We're
that's
not
what
allowed
the
to carry those anymore.
The weapons team has them, bozo.
Well, they
well,
should.
and a Moz is going to be way better for a hasty
Yes,
ambush.
a Moz is outstanding, and you can carry a lot of fucking ammo for it if you have the space. Because ideally, you're going to have your fucking guy carrying the rocket, then you're going to have a fucking ammo bearer who's going to be carrying spares. Laws could be beneficial. The only issue with that is if you're fucking, let's say you're going up against a fucking APC equivalent of a striker, a Moz isn't really going to disable it. Sorry, a law is not going to really disable it. Laws would be good for fucking light armor. Well, not even really light armor. I'd say like a fucking
Yeah, we
standard
tend not to
Humvee.
carry mostly. Yeah, mostly you're gonna see AT4s, and we often carry like high pin, like tandem versions of those. So
Yeah, like your recruit kit, you have an AT4 on you right now. We usually most of us
Exactly,
carry
and I could
AT4s
fucking
all the
use
time.
it right now, and it would do the fucking job.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, laws could be beneficial. It just depends. But yeah, no, fucking honestly, the use of fucking jabs or even a Moz, depending on what vehicle's leading, that'd be fucking great. Then your 240s can open up and fucking shred them to shit. Because once they dismount, that vehicle's fucking useless.
I don't have any more. I don't have any more lecturing for you, Kurt. Do you want to do like dry, or like tests of like the 2 topics we've covered?
Live fire.
Yes.
Do you guys want to do that?
Wait,
Live
I do
fire
have a quick
exercise.
point
I would
off
love to.
topic.
Yes. What's up?
All right. Do you guys know what a fucking controlled pair is?
A what?
Controlled pair.
Yeah.
What? I don't.
Oh man.
What
All right,
objectives
all
are you
right.
guys planning to use?
So this is fucking squad tactics fucking 101. All right. So whenever your fucking team's pushing through an objective, let's say you're a little fire team all online. You guys are pushing through after assaulting through an objective, which will tie into Battle Drill 1 used by the Army. All right. You're passing through your bodies. The controlled pairs where you light that motherfucker up. Even if they're dead, light that motherfucker up. Especially with the AI, a lot of times you'll knock them to the ground, but they will not be fully dead. So cap that motherfucker as much as you feel is necessary, even if it's an entire magazine. Then continue on.
Didn't we turn that off?
Huh?
No.
Oh.
No, we did not
No.
turn that off.
Yeah, but just light the motherfucker up. That way, there's not the risk of them waking up after being unconscious. Because I don't know how many fucking times that shit has happened, and so it's very important that you guys understand that and they pass off to your guys. Not to kind of like take over, leadership training. I just in all the units I've been in, it's very, very, very crucial because you'll get a lot of fucking 15-year-olds who are here for shits and giggles, fucking diddling themselves while playing Arma and aren't paying attention.
Brother, I haven't been 15 in years.
I would say the average age of this unit is about 23 and up.
All right, well, happy to hear. I mean, hopefully people are still diddling themselves, But...
Right hand check.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Terry can get it up,
Who
alright.
Jacob stands with
No,
your
no.
pain.
These are valuable points being. Some of it is hard too because you haven't been able to like actually see us in action. Now I'm like preschooling them because they should know most of this anyways. But trying to cover all my bases. I've got several WLC candidates and new guys, so these are all great points. Kurt is, I guess, conferring with air, so we're not wherever Ryland is about to destroy my fucking map.
My
we
God,
use
will you shut
cock
up?
and balls in the ambush.
Huh?
Rolls in the ambush? What do you? Shut up. All right, listen. So flowers, move to the left, quickly. All right, this is what's gonna happen. Everybody talked a really cool game with the CQB, so I kind of want to go back there. The air guys are they're just giving me a heads up that they're gonna go do an objective. So if there's any desync, maybe.
I have never seen one of these move.
It's because he DC'd in it.
Yeah, so he said.
Did I just like actually kickflip a fucking foxhole?
Yeah, the foxhole is just fucking.
Well, the foxhole was a vehicle, so I guess.
Off my face. God damn it.
Yo, you pulled his ball off.
Get away from me.
Whoa, chasing Chris on top
Alright,
of
good night, y'all.
flowers.
Yeah, buddy.
You pulled his fucking.
Yeah, so to utilize the time that we have, I kind of don't want to do like an ambush because there's so much more that you can teach with ambushes. I know you guys all talked about some really, really good information, and I'm very glad we had like this really big conversation. It's good to share info between each other. Actually, that's how we all learn. Honestly, like when you become an NCO, you know, it's a huge learning process, and even like up to me and the captain here, you know, we're listening to you guys give valuable input. So don't think that anything you say is on deaf ears, because we're absolutely listening and everybody's learning at the same time. And there's so much to learn about ambushes. Really, even Saturday, I think we're gonna do them. So I want to move back to the CQB because everybody also had some really good valuable input, and I want to see you guys in action. So we'll probably go back to the Mount Town. We'll make the Humvee there an arsenal, so you guys can do whatever last checks and give me and Snipe a moment to set it up. And
Going back on the bus.
Should we drive there?
No,
Bro, I want to go to sleep.
It's too far.
I'm telling you, we're not driving
my
back
God,
anyway.
quit complaining.
We're about to go back there, and we'll prep for that. So you guys can pick your teams out. Shit, too. That would be good. All right, let's fucking go back quickly.
Wait.
They can drive all they want.
Okay.
Jerry, take me with you.
Well, you guys have a fucking.
Casey, do you want to teleport everybody? They already got on the bus. I hate them. Can I do this? Can I send them
I blew up the
to
bus.
air?
It works like a vehicle Riker.
I want to send them to the air range so they can get
So if you've got an E-tool Riker, you can dig one of those. That will protect you from IDF, but it has like a health bar.
You can dig it like with the entrenching tool.
Yeah. It doesn't work like a trench. You like lay down, and then 10 seconds it spawns one with you in it. But if IDF goes off, it'll hit this thing before
And it
hits your
sucks
health
you
pool,
in.
But like it'll take like maybe one 155 round like nearby before it like spits you out onto the ground.
You got to be careful when you're running. If somebody you don't see them, you'll be running. You'll fall right.
What's up? Back to the Mount Town.
You should see like on the stroller option, dig foxhole. You got your E-tool.
In the Mount Town, yeah. Do more, please. Good looks.
Brady.
All right. The same one we're doing. The
How are you?
Rosovia dudes.
Wait, wait.
And cut trees down.
Yeah.
All they're in red for. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to not smoke,
yeah,
so
you
I
like
can
the red
pass the
floor
drug
ones?
test.
I
I don't
think
know if
they're
that's for THC for not.
No, I thought they were only in independent.
You alive?
Are you guys okay?
Indeed says they don't, but I don't know if I trust that or not.
Yeah. Sometimes they do.
Just Indeed next to us. I gotta get us out of here quickly. Get out of the foxholes, retard, so I can fucking TP.
Hey, Chase.
Yes.
When so when's your interview tomorrow?
I don't know.
I know.
I haven't heard anything back.
I thought you just in preparation, like anticipation, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't have my ear tech.
Whoa. Now we're here.
Can we get an arsenal?
Yeah, it's gonna be the Humvee.
It's almost like he said the Humvee was going to be an arsenal.
Almost like I wasn't fucking listening.
Yeah, maybe you should.
I know you weren't listening. And the guys on the bus.
You know, to piggyback off the captain, I think we should make the Humvee an arsenal.
You should have locked the gate.
Run, Forrest.
I could have locked the gate. What the fuck?
I need my.
Yo, hold ass. Exactly. Okay. If you have a soft cover, put your hard covers on.
Yeah, I was about to say, Brady, it's time.
Harry, can I have some caffeine?
I'm gonna swap to my hard cover.
I'm not a medic tonight. It's not my problem.
I'm going invisible.
the
but
red schmall.
I will pop in.
Yeah,
and
well,
fucking
it's
hit
my
you,
right
but
as
is
a
there
PJ
problem,
teammate.
Captain Sobel?
Before you leave.
I thought PJ
I'm gonna be
was
right here. I'm
fancy
still
medics.
invisible.
No, I know. But just for you.
There will be an accident in the field tonight.
So, you want to bully Bandit later, or you get him to do our RTO training?
Yeah.
I will be him.
Can you send my?
Not
Have you seen the live action Cat in the Hat?
I have caffeine. I said I do have some. Do I want to watch Cat in the Hat? Did we watch that like a month ago?
No, I was asking if you've seen it.
Oh, yes.
The scene where they got the cupcake-nator and he says, "It'll look like an accident."
Dude, I love that movie so much.
Okay,
I'll sit down and make
time
one.
on deck is 14:30.
Hello,
you guys have till
children.
14:33, and then I'm gonna unleash you on the Mount Town. If you die, I will see you back at the airfield.
One life only.
Steven Seagal doesn't wear a helmet, neither will I.
I'll make
Mrs.
it when
Kwan.
Bandit set the time.
Yo,
for
Mrs.
RTO
Kwan
training.
can sleep.
Yeah,
Are you
oh,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
the
We'll
hair
talk
down
about
the
that
purple
after.
tube?
Actually, thanks for
that
running
sat
We'll
the
talk about
entire
that after
movie.
with you.
Yeah.
Well, we need to be ready by 14:33, so get your shit together. And if you have an LPVO, yeah, you might die.
No, that's not true.
I'm
They're
gonna take
good.
mine off also, actually.
Somebody say my name?
Harry.
Huh? What?
What
Harry, can you do team assignments? You decide.
Yeah, after I pee. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, dodgeball. We'll do dodgeball. It'll be okay.
Actual, except do it like actual.
Yeah, line up on the wall when you're ready for when I get back.
Agreed.
When I get back,
Which
wall? Okay, so
I guess the wall that everyone's already standing on.
And Bandit, don't forget Quinn's with me on that RTO stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I
what
said. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh,
We'll
fucking
talk about it
kidding,
today.
man, to be honest.
And I'm putting a plaque on.
Get out of here.
Yippee, I'm so excited. I just can't hide it.
Kind of we're looking. Do we have any urban
What the hell?
camos?
Pick that,
Urban
pick that shit up.
camo.
Put it in
Yeah, we
For
have
what? Look at Chris.
Bird.
Look at Chris. Well, he's wearing the urban
UCP on,
camo.
there you go.
That's true.
It's
Let me
universal.
Flash on, exactly. Let's go.
Green.
That's right.
Flowers, if you go into this with urban camo, I am going to control AI and target you specifically.
Okay, well never mind. I think my all-terrain
You better
target
die,
is pretty
real.
urban.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
Where's Terry? Just Terry's gonna take any team. I need
He's
another
peeing.
volunteer team leader. If somebody wants to volunteer to be a team leader, I will
I'm gonna
take
make
you
Terry
today. It does
decide
not
all
matter.
that. He's just gonna tell
It
them
do
what's
not
up.
matter. Anybody, y'all came out to the
You know
to
what?
put this
I'll volunteer.
perfect AT4 on the ground. I will take that. Thank you. Anyway.
And the floating helmet. You will respect my authority.
Oh. Anybody? Maybe
I
somebody
got
who
you,
hasn't,
big thug.
somebody who hasn't done it before. Maybe you want
Grim,
to take
you
us
got
through.
a lot of warfighter face paint on. I hope
Yeah,
you're a
Grim
full
is now
spectrum
the team
warrior.
leader.
Where is
I use every
Flowers?
part of the spectrum.
Flowers, you're
Right
one of.
here.
How many of us are there? 18? 16?
He has to bully me into it. Who's floating helmet?
Flowers, over here. You're another team lead.
There's 14.
God.
We do not talk about the floating helmet.
What else we have?
Interesting.
Zeno, another team lead. And
The pervert.
Dawa.
Warrior.
Oh, snipe. I have to do something to all these AI. Just so you know.
Alright,
I'm gonna fly through it, but
I'm on Xeno's team.
let's do Brady left. Go over there. Just go over there. I'm splitting you.
Dodgeball.
Are we doing dodgeball? Chase told me to choose them all. Did he not?
Yeah, you choose them all.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris and I are a
Dodgeball would be more
package deal.
No. Buckeye, what role are you in?
Throwing things at each
Medic.
Okay, go left. Quinn, I want you to go left.
His left, not your left.
Where I'm pointing.
I'm back.
On Nene, I want Rocker to stay there. Let's get Magnum and Dala. You go over there. That'll be your team.
okay.
We're
Snipe.
just let out the most
I'm teleporting you
toxic
away
fart
very quickly.
Possible. I think I'm gonna
And-
pass out.
All right. Graham, you go over there.
That one was really bad.
Let's see. Holiday too.
Yes, yourself.
Far left.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I don't know what I ate yesterday.
Kaiser,
but,
you go there.
Damn, dude.
There.
It's a good
Kaiser.
thing I didn't go to work.
Kaiser.
They're about to
Kaiser.
Call the CDC
There you go.
on my ass.
And then you four are a team. Flowers will be team lead. Since I miscounted.
Who else
So
is on
you're
Xeno's
with
team?
them.
Okay.
Oh, you five.
Cool.
Yeah, you five. Yeah, perfect.
Hell yeah, Flowers. I believe
Hey,
in your
Zeno.
leadership
Worst,
abilities.
the worst team possible.
We're doing.
I'll kill you myself.
We did holiday team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do holiday again.
Get resupplied here. I could just not take the spit.
We'll do holiday again.
Take the fucking
What are we?
Holiday 1.
7 or 48?
Go take the.
Oh, I don't know.
You do one of them.
Holiday is 58.0 team net or squad net.
Yeah, I got
Does the base kit not have a radio in it?
No,
Just
yeah,
fine.
We're at 58.
I must not. Oh, yeah, that's right. 'Cause that's stupid
Okay.
shit.
Said we're one team.
Yeah. I assume Chase wants me to squad lead.
I'll be with Nene and Riker.
Oh, he probably doesn't have one.
Your helmet's hanging out.
Get one of the.
One.
You want the ANPRC 152, and it's like the black and gray, like circle.
I'm already on
Is
fire.
your radio good?
Yes.
Yeah.
What frequency?
Team net is 58.1.
I don't know why it shows up blue and floral.
You said 57 too?
Hello. Is your radio good?
58 too.
Team net check.
Would you like my?
Squad net check.
You're just the only one we're missing.
Yeah, Flowers copies.
Was not paying attention.
No, you're all good.
Dollar, y'all
Let's
two.
use Magnum.
Check.
Yeah, we were two.
Two.
Charlie.
Alright, then y'all are tracking your 3.
My 2 I see is Zeno.
So squad 5-8.
Okay.
Wow, I'm honored.
Make no mistake. There will be no fuck ups.
Goddamn.
Alright, Buckeye. Soul medic.
Do your job. I'll kill you
Holiday.
myself.
Good luck.
Let's go.
Don't do your job.
Alright, buddy teams will be
Good check.
Quinn,
The Rough Riders have
Brady,
one
and
rule.
myself.
Everyone fights.
No.
Nobody quits.
It's going to be Buckeye, Quinn, and myself. And then Grim and Brady on point team.
You got your net set up? dude?
Who are the battle buddies?
Yeah.
Your radio
What?
net?
Who are the battle buddies?
Okay, my bad.
So Brady, you're 2 SC.
Okay.
You weren't listening.
Leader of men.
Yeah. Spell.
Hello, Mr. Helmet Man.
Snipe, that's funny. Okay, I'm back. Are you guys ready?
Speaks to us.
Yeah, you want us to go through the whole town or what?
If I'm dead.
No,
No,
I'm setting. We set
there's
up
a
a neighborhood for you, and then you guys will encounter something else. So it'll be funny.
Chris, you know you're, are you meant to have your American flag patch like the other way around?
Hope so.
If it's on your shoulder.
I hope you guys are listening to me now. The moment you enter or you see anything within the red box, it is all live. I hope you guys are listening to me now.
Sorry?
Sometimes.
What did he say?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Exactly.
You're finna die.
You're probably right. But you'll die first.
Not me.
What are you putting those in side channel, Bandit?
Remember, live fire is not an excuse for everything we talked about to go right out the
Inside?
fucking window. You have to know this well enough to teach
There you
it
go.
to guys on Friday.
Thank you.
You put some fucking clothes on and stop
I
walking.
guess.
No,
I assume
it's
so,
gonna be-
yes.
It's gonna be
Do we have
worse
a medic in
Friday
the squad?
because you're gonna have
Yeah,
a bunch of
Buckeye.
fucking lance corporals that think that they know what the fuck is up, and then you get to be like, wow, you suck.
Yeah, a bunch of lance corporals that know what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
No, they only think they do. They only think they do. They're actually fucking idiots.
Okay, so
Wow.
I'm not going to.
That's me.
Like
That's me right there.
the captain has instructed me previously to try and let you guys take more initiative instead of having me draw out all of your plans. Even though I love drawing on the map so much, as you guys know. What is going to happen is I just box off the area that is live for you guys. You might see a surprise or two. We talked about CQB a bunch. This is your time for you guys to learn how to communicate with each other, especially because when you guys are in the squad level communication between fire teams 1, 2, 3 is so important because that's your contact reports. That's just your whole lifeline is your squad. So communicating together is also important, and then communicating within your fire team is important. I hope you guys have a radio set also, or that would be very unfortunate for yourselves. Even though, yeah. But anyway, the red box off area is live. I told you we would be ready by 14:33. It's 14:38, so you guys are clear to push through. I will be on platoon net also if anybody needs me. But good luck over there.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't die.
Taylor Swift's house.
That's how you know it's starting.
He went out. What the hell?
Good luck.
Dawa and Flowers coming
Let's,
real quick.
I'll walk you over there. Actually,
Here
let's
comes
go.
that lance drop.
That's why we're not doing the ambush because they told us.
you cut out for me.
Wild.
Hold on.
Alright.
Go, keep pushing through. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Go. Keep pushing through. I'm covering all you guys. I'm covering everybody down the entire road. Keep pushing. Go. I'm covering everybody down the whole road.
This is a huge clusterfuck. It's always a huge clusterfuck.
Alright, Terry, we'll take the south street. Hey, Magnum, push south past the barricade. Don't cross to the left side.
So I want one team to push, like you said, south, and then the other on the northern road, right?
I can see him from here.
And then I want one is gonna hold at the corner and provide security down the avenues.
Flowers, what are we doing?
Alright, we'll take the north road then.
Alright, Brady, lead us down this alley, and then we're gonna cut left and take that corner.
Okay.
Watch out, contacts ahead.
Oh my god, I fucking
Stick with your buddy, Grim. Remember, don't walk in a bunch.
Sorry, this fucking. Yeah, sorry. Where's that?
Are we live? Do you want us to shoot him? Like, I thought you wanted us to wait till we got inside.
Precisely, yes.
Yes. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted us to wait till we were inside to shoot.
I told you everything inside the red box is hot. Me and Sniper are like, why is nobody shooting?
No, I know. The way you said it made it sound like we weren't supposed to engage till we got inside. All right, let him up then. Let him up then.
Squad, clear the red box. How copy? Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Two's under contact on the south street.
My game is like tabbing out. That's a great time. All right, Brady, you and Graham push down the street.
Copy. Come on, Graham. What god you stuck behind fucking code?
They think you know whose vehicle this is.
Yeah, just push past this team. I want us on those barricades on the left side, Brady.
Copy.
Chris, take a start off the street. I got you covered.
We'll hold here while y'all push.
Crossing.
Grim, stick with your buddy. Alright, my buddy team across. We're holding the corners.
We haven't made it to the southwest corner yet. We've been pinned down on our street from the east side.
We gotta go.
You good?
Things are going this way.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah, move through this building.
What is that?
Move through this building to my left.
Yep, stack.
We have friendlies on the other side here. Good. Alright, Brady, I want you to circle past behind this building and get us down to the next pink building.
Getting shot through the AR, shooting us through the roof of this building.
Hey, got 2 times casualties. Yeah, I'm here.
Quinn, I need you to stay with Buckeye.
Say again, it's too loud.
I need you to stay with Buckeye.
Copy.
Alright, Brady, from here we're going to punch down to that northeastern corner.
When you know where I'm at? Where'd Buckeye go?
Just stay with us, Quinn. Stay with us.
Where we pushed out from the building we went through.
Graham, come on. I'm right next to you.
Oh,
If that makes
shit, I was
sense.
looking the wrong way, my fault.
You gotta stay with me, Quinn.
Across.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
gonna go find Buckeye.
No, just stay with me.
Sit.
Crossing. Alright, move.
Alright, I'm back up.
Copy that. We're on the northeastern corner. If you cross behind the buildings along the north, you'll get to us.
This is Flowers, I'm back up.
Okay, we're almost
Copy.
at Taylor Swift's house.
Yep, yep. Move on Taylor Swift's house. Let's move this. Clear this yellow building, actually.
I'm already across the street.
Yep, yep, yep.
Across the street?
Quinn on me.
Clear. I'm on you.
What do you say?
On you.
Say again.
This is 2, building in the southwest corner is clear. We're pushing east time now.
Copy that. Are we desyncing or are you just like standing in place?
We're desyncing.
Desyncing.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're good.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all hold there. We're gonna push in this building.
Copy.
Alright.
Breaching. Stairs right. Door left.
Yeah.
Alright, push on that door.
Yeah. Move in. That's clear.
Alright.
1, this is 3. We got this first building clear.
On you.
Solid. We're moving down the vertical road at Taylor Swift's house. Moving.
Copy. We're gonna move on to the next building, get this shit cleared out.
Alright, I'm going right. Right clear, right clear. Balcony door. Balcony is clear. We cleared it already.
That's clear.
Alright, Brady, start clearing Taylor Swift's house if you have it.
Copy.
There's a door we can access on this side over here.
Check.
Quinn, go with them and help clear it. 3 minute.
Yep.
Buckeye, we're at Taylor Swift's house. 2-3 status.
I'm still here on Blackjack 1
This
working
is 2
on
actually and down at this time, trying to grab him.
Solid copy. Get a marker from a medic if you can.
1, this is 3. I got 2 packs down. They're getting worked on now.
Solid. Get markers on you if you can. Brady, you shoot me through the wall. Alright, Quinn, come back out with me to this white building with the blue baseboards.
Copy. Top floor's clear. Yes. On Taylor Swift. On you.
Copy. We're waiting on them to come out. When you are ready, come outside. Duh, it's friendly. Don't shoot them. All right, Brady, we're moving in.
Terry, he's Prio 1, southwest corner of the red box.
Buckeye, you catch that?
Negative, what was it?
Quinn, go right. Push through, push through.
Right. Door right.
Copy. I'm holding this door.
Taking door. One down. Down. All clear.
You sure he's down? Quinn, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I got good.
Brady, can you get marks on what's clear? Even though I don't really like to do that. Alright, breach that door.
Yeah.
Alright, go right. I'm going right. Alright, Taylor Swift's row is clear. Buckeye, are you on SquadNet to hear those calls from medic?
I'm not hearing anything right now. I think people are stepping on each other. Where do they...
Light one. Brady, move to us on this one building. At the corner. Bottom southeast.
Hello.
Alright, move ahead to yellow.
Copy.
Vic behind. Vic behind. Brady.
Vic.
Watch for dismounts.
1, this is 3. 3 is moving on to the next building to the east.
Copy that, Bright. 1 has just engaged a BTR to the bright east of Taylor Swift's house. I'll copy.
Quinn, is there more vehicles over there? I cannot hear you say again. Was there more vehicles over there?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, we kind of need you here, buddy. Southwest corner. We're gonna try to push it to the east.
Alright, Brady, Graham, is that yellow building clear?
Mark to exactly where you need me, I'll be there.
I ain't looked yet, I'll look now. Hold up.
Flowers, Chris is back.
Alright, Quinn. Keep an eye down this street for me. No friendlies down there, so if you see something moving, get them.
Bottom floor clear.
Oh! So this building's clear.
1, this is 3. I got 1 pack down.
Yeah, we're at. Brady, in between the buildings. Interior of the square.
Brady, I saw that. You fucking domed him. There's no fucking way, bro.
I got high. Don't stand up, I got high.
Yo, that guy's woken up so many times.
Okay, guy behind me, I can't let that to the left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some blood.
Terry, what was the last casualty report you got from Dawa?
From Dawa?
Never mind, just sent your radio message. Get that?
Send again? Or say again?
1, this is 2.
Yeah, go.
We have 3 unconscious right now. Buckeye's getting them. The rest of us are security.
Yeah, copy that.
Yeah, he's like fucking 2 minutes too late on calling that fucking casualty report.
Was he?
Hey, target's
Yeah,
behind.
dude, they've been down for like 2 minutes. He's gotta get his shit together.
Hey.
Brady, I need you and Grim to push that wrecked MTV or whatever.
Grim, we're moving. This is 1. This is 3. I got 2 times.
Alright, on me, Quinn.
On you.
Brady, we're pushing y'all. Send again, 2 or 3. Yo, the hip fire at range, baby.
Reloading.
There, I'm doing triage.
Copy.
heal.
Quinn, we're gonna push security out. We don't want to be in this building.
Yep. I need medical.
Apply tourniquets to yourself if you can. If it's like a head or chest wound, bandage yourself. Quinn, I want you to cover my right. I'm going to cover left.
Yeah.
Grab some solid cover, like the. Yep, exactly. There you go. Two, three, sit reps.
Two's in the fucking shit on Mark.
Be advised, three's TL is down at this time. We have 2 casualties total. Mark will be updated momentarily.
Copy. Elements of 1 will come to 2's position. Quinn with me.
Yeah.
Brady, you're losing your security net. You on this yellow building?
On you.
Breaching. Going left.
3, where's your
Stairs.
Dead space right.
Moving upstairs now.
Yep.
Door right, moving left.
Yep. I got the door.
It's clear. Alright, on you.
The door. All clear, all clear. Coming out.
This is their mark, but they're not here. Yep. Two, we were on your mark. We don't see any of you here.
Copy. We displaced the 3's position. We're gonna establish a CCP at the bank building.
Okay. Copy that.
Alright, all the guys are in here, bottom floor. We have, like,
Yeah, let's push security out though.
Yep. Hey,
I'll have my guys cover the southeast, Awa. Alright, elements of 1 are going to cover the southeast while we take care of that CCP.
I'm multi-stamina, so I probably won't be able to run it for a little bit.
Yep. We're going to get up on top of this building.
Hey, Jay, we're pushing northeast.
Northeast, copy. Brady, we're going to be in the yellow building at the top of Taylor Swift Row, watching east.
Whoa, good job, ladies and peeps.
Hello?
Hello. Hello. Blue, 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 blue coming in.
Yeah, watch east.
Probably. I would keep that thing on.
And you don't necessarily have to stay on the balcony because, you know, obviously being on the balcony is, like, very wide open. So if you're ever tasked with watching a direction, grab a window, or peek out the door of a balcony, stuff like that.
He's trying to have a building right across from him if your intent is to shield the CCP.
Buckeye, you mind if I lift him up from the grave?
Where did you guys get attacking now?
For the last one, Muriel. I hope there's no more priority ones around the house.
I'm alive, fool.
Okay, guys.
Let's bring it into the Humvee, everybody.
Alright, bring it into the Humvee.
Remember, you guys got attacked on that avenue.
Copy.
He might not know that. I mean, you should always tell him that, but he may not know that.
How's it? What's good? You want to tell the guys?
Go back down to the Humvee.
Yeah.
Index.
Yeah. This is my old kit, but I stayed strapped anyway.
Yo.
Pull it out of my fanny pack.
What the hell? He pulled that shit out of the fanny pack. Yeah, the plum.
There we go. That was weird.
What the hell? So, is this everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, with CQB and all the lessons that we've been trying to teach you guys today, I'm moving the Humvee. I don't care. It helped a little bit. So, like I said, we learned, why am I still walking backwards? Holy fuck, this game, bro. Anyway, I think you guys did a interesting job communicating with each other. The purpose of this wasn't to do a good job or a bad job. The purpose was so you guys could figure out your own ways to communicate and how you'll be, instructing your teams coming this weekend. I think you guys did a rather good job doing that. And there were a couple surprises in there for you guys. I mean, Chris said, chairs and couches are death traps, and the first thing he encounters was the fucking couch. So, I hope you guys took a piece of what everybody said today. Like I was saying, all this stuff is very important that we're all talking about. And so trying to get little bits and pieces from each person so you can develop your own style is most important. We're not robots, right? You're not inputting information to shit out, an output. But we're here to, learn and play together. So that's the most important bit.
I have a couple notes.
Yeah, please. The captain was watching you guys the whole time, so I hope you weren't fucking around.
I tried to spot check you in the moment on most of them. One, like, you guys gotta call contact directions. I know that like it was like a supposedly contained environment, but like it wasn't. It wasn't when you got in there. So Dawa, the moment you guys started getting contact from the west, you have to call contact, because at that point Terry was up on like this corner over here in the fucking
northeast.
Actually, you got contact from the south, Dawa. It came at you from here.
Okay, we didn't see that.
So at this point, Terry's trying to cover down the street where he saw the BTR. If these guys have gotten behind you, they're gonna fuck Terry. You have to call that fucking contact. I hope you guys learned almost exactly what Beans was saying earlier, that like maneuverability is the king here. Like, you guys spend a lot of time locked down in these buildings, and I know that you have casualties and shit like that, but like, you gotta fucking move. Even if you have casualties, move the fucking casualties. The longer you sit in any of these buildings, the more the enemy knows, like, hey, they're definitely in that building. Let's go flood that building.
Exactly.
So
You can
if
go
you can
outside,
keep them
especially.
guessing even just a little bit, it's going to buy you a lot of time. Buckeye, you were fucking running, buddy. You were hard pressed, but that's okay. So yeah, you guys got to call contact. Try to be spatially aware. The point of communicating frequently where you are is so that your fellow leaders can look at the situation and say what's not covered. And you guys left some holes there. Another thing that you guys really need to be on top of, and I know, like, for leaders or just anybody, like, guys start going down, you get a little stressed, then you're like, silly things start to fall. But you guys have to be clear on giving direction for security. I heard you guys telling your guys to take security, but that goes back to the point we had. I guess it was on. Well, it wasn't this building, but anyways, the point about giving clear direction to specific people, right? It's not enough to just say like, "Hey guys, take security." Direct them, tell them what you want them to cover. Say, "Hey, like, Bean's gonna cover that door, Grim's gonna cover the other one," right? Because earlier, like, I had to tell Grim to cover one of these back doors. He was doing his best. He was covering the door he thought was open. That seemed like the most legitimate threat. He was doing exactly what he should be doing. But nobody in fucking leadership came by and was like, "Hey, Grim, like, cover that other back door." So, at that point, I hear leaders like bitch about security or whatever. You can't put any blame on Grim for that. There's no blame to be had. He was doing his best to try to provide security. Nobody told him the back door was open, and he's trying to make sure you guys don't get flooded across the street where he had seen contact before. It's on you as a leader to say like, "Hey, I got to make sure these guys are covering these right sectors." It's not their fault at all. It's entirely on you. Let's see. Beyond that, I really just, God, this mobility point, I feel like I really need to hammer. You really got to do it. But then at the end, the point that I wanted to make. So you guys collapsed in on this building and you consolidated casualties here and made this little CCP. That's fine. It's a good call. There were already some guys here trying to hold security, but the solution, and Terry very quickly, I think, saw this and set orders to make sure this wasn't happen. If you guys had all gaggle fucked in this building, while Buckeye and whoever else is working on casualties, it doesn't matter who's on security. Like, all it takes is one dude walk by, chuck a grenade through the window, you're fucked. So Terry's plan was to push the security perimeter out, and that's what you should immediately look to do. Terry's team took cover in that building to try and cover like approaches up to the building to try to provide a buffer zone. So if the enemy comes down the street, they're going to try to engage Terry's building first before they walk up into our CCP. My issue, Dawa, is that Dawa, you went right across. Can't do that. Like, I think in your mind you were thinking all the contacts coming from that direction, but like, you also knew that wasn't true because when you were on the back side over here, you got engaged from the south. Terry may not know that. In fact, Terry probably didn't know that because he didn't call contact from that direction.
Know that.
And so you flooding towards one point when you know it's an urban environment and they could be coming from all around you. To quote Captain America, Dawa, they could be coming from all sides. You can't walk one fucking direction for no goddamn reason. So you need to at least cover like the next building over or something, but you have to know And you knew where Terry was. That's why I asked you, where is Terry? And you said he was across the street. So you knew where he was. You knew that that side was covered. Find the hole. Plug the hole. Take the initiative to fill the hole. And obviously you didn't have your whole team with you, so you guys are like piecemealing dudes at this point. But you got to fill those gaps. Security failures are honestly predominantly an NCO issue. These guys are going to do what you want them to do, and they're going to try their damnedest. And we don't have any fucking pants on head retard people, okay? Like, we have guys that may, like, forget something in the moment or whatever, or, like, they, you know, guys are really bad about horse blinding on stuff. But, again, that's all your job to fix it. So, remember, even in CQB, where it's, like, really scary and you're getting shot at, your job is to lead, not necessarily to shoot. Because if you can direct other people to shoot, it's like you're shooting all their guns too. That's way more effective, and they need you to do that. That's your job. Chris, it was a sad thing. I can't believe the chair got you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the chair really did a number.
Yeah, they tried to attack Beans later.
Yo,
That shit threw me under the map the second I touched it.
that was instant karma. It was instant karma.
Did I get shot by a friendly?
No.
I didn't. I didn't. No. I didn't see any like square on blue situation.
There was definitely
What
some
I
overpins that
definitely
came near
saw
me.
was some
overpin.
overpins of you guys not being mindful, and in some cases you didn't know where they were. But like Chris didn't know that. I don't think he didn't hit anybody, but it was from this building. There's a building across Brady that you had been in. Chris was shooting guys in the targets or in the courtyard, and then I think he saw movement in the building, but didn't know it was you guys. So he like lit up the building a little bit, and I know some of those rounds came through. But it's confusing. I mean, this whole thing is confusing,
Better luck next time.
and like you know, you have to account.
Kaiser,
for
I
confusion,
saw
but
you
again,
aim at me through a top story
that
window.
hammers back this point,
And you're like,
as
wait,
a
that's
leader,
friendly.
Your job is to try and control.
No, I know
the
you
chaos
didn't.
as much
You
as
said,
can,
wait, those
'cause,
are
like,
friendly.
You saw even in this pretty controlled example, like shit's gonna hit the fan, and it's gonna go like it's nice to talk about it and like act like we're fucking digital armchair generals and shit, but like it's way different even in Arma when you're getting fucking shot at. So
Chase has always yelled at me about going and seeing things for the situation they are, and to not let a lot of the other variables kind of bog me down. So, you know, move into these areas with a clear mind, absorb the information, and you'll be able to formulate the best plan. You know, even in the moment. No plan, surprise, first contact. So you'll get it.
On Kurt's point, my biggest issue a lot of the times is that you guys will be told like the objective is, and that's why I'm glad him and Snipe threw that kind of curveball at you. You guys were told the objective is the red box area. Okay, so now in your mind, everything else in this zone is safe. That's never the case. You know that's never the fucking case. But what happens is you're like, oh, it's like Call of Duty, man. It's like, you know, it's the objective says that on like the top left of my screen, and it's like good to go. It's not how it works, and you know that. So don't get bogged down with what the objective says, and play to the advantage of the situation. It's like right in fucking front of you. You'll know that whatever the objective is the thing that you ultimately want to accomplish, but don't let that blind you to what is actually unfolding right in front of your face. Does that make sense? I know it sounds really simple, but I see you guys struggle with that a lot. Flowers?
Yes.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a. I just want to say, whoever was in, I don't know if it was this pink building or another one of the two stories. I think it was Mariel and Beans on the other side of the door, talking about, you know, the motions they were going to go through. I just want to say good job for you guys talking that through. That was the dialogue I wanted to hear like this whole time. So seriously, good job.
This is something that got you guys. And I meant to bring this up when we did our walkthrough of urban stuff. This is something, so get your notepad back out if you were writing notes from earlier. An issue with like dense urban areas like this is that sometimes the fighting is not, well, it's really never just the building you're in. You have to worry about the next building over too. So be mindful of how you cross across windows. Be mindful, like everybody wants to be like, I'm going to use the window to shoot from. They think that you're going to do that. So like, don't just like put your head in the fucking window. Honestly, and this may not be like kosher doctrine, it may not be the worst idea to pie some of these windows a little bit, like kind of poke around a little bit. Be like,
Oh yeah,
am I gonna get blasted if I look out this window?
If you're not using the window like at all, the enemy is.
Because inevitably what gets you is even if you're like doing really good, like what you're supposed to be doing in the building you're in, the guys in the next building over are just gonna fucking blast you as soon as they can see you through the window.
Or the Dusker in the courtyard will.
Yeah, so you've got to be mindful of like what can see where I'm about to look and where do I need to worry about fire coming from. Which is a lot. That's a lot to consider. I'm not saying that's like an easy concept, but that's something you have to be mindful of, and you have to spread to the guys on Friday and be like, hey, like this is all the stuff we're teaching you about fighting in this building, and that's great. The problem is none of these buildings are like in a vacuum. This is not an isolated situation. You've got buildings all around you that may also have guys, and they're going to shoot into your building before you can do any of your cool stuff, before you can breach, before you can hide the door, any of that stuff, because you're not even in the same fucking building they are. So don't expose yourself overly. Know where the windows are. Know or try to know, like, hey, my threat is not like from this window what's directly out on the street. My threat is really what is that guy over in that window doing? Or is there going to be a guy in that window? It's like sensory overload. That's why this shit is so hard.
A lot of variables that we're worried about all the time. So that's why I said, please come to this with an open mind, clear mind. You know, we're here to work together. So
you can do everything perfectly and still just get fucked as well.
And you can't, but sometimes that happens. And as leader, you have to know that sometimes that just happens. Like, you know, we can beat to death, like, oh, you should have done this better, or blah, blah, blah. And sometimes that can give us results, but sometimes it's not in your control. The enemy gets a say, too.
Sometimes the enemy just phases through the floor and starts shooting you. Floor.
That was crazy.
I definitely went in some doors first. I shouldn't have.
Yeah, well, and that's also something to be mindful of as a leader, right? Like, I know that I've got a bunch of like, oh, you guys are like, you know, hard charging war fighters, yeah. But like, don't always be the first guy through the door all the time. The medics know this too. Like, your medic is going to fucking. Your medic's gonna shit bag out and be like, yeah, I'm not going through that door first. Like, because if he goes down, you're fucked. Like, they know that, so don't pick some guy that's good. Be like, hey, you're the point guy.
Well,
but don't like fucking volunteer for that shit all the time. If you have to, I would rather you be like decisive and, you know, very upbeat and trying to control the momentum of the fight. That doesn't mean that you get to be reckless, though. I think the best phrase I can tell you is that cautiously hurrying is good. Okay. That was it.
That was
Good
cool.
work.
I like this
Did
new
we,
gun.
so this little Jesus.
God damn it.
What even was that?
I don't know what that was.
I was all tabbed for a second.
My bad.
Sorry, I don't know.
I did that.
Was that
Okay.
That's Chris picking the low-cost units in the RTS.
Chris fucking around. Anyways, so this is a different tempo than like a lot of the trainings, right? I mean, you got to remember, we have to cater most training nights to the lowest common denominator, and we have some mouth-breathing people. So the important part here is that these trainings are going to be a little bit more private. The people who are not interested in this kind of stuff are not going to come to this kind of shit anyways. But my plan is we're going to be able to meet weekly and talk about, like, this is what you're going to be teaching them. This is how I want you to teach them. This is stuff that I want to make sure you guys know, especially for my newer NCOs who got promoted, like, in the deployment and haven't turned around and been the ones teaching, because it's a very different ball game. It's very different to, like, say, like, I'm teaching now and I'm not just the field leader. Yes, Dala?
No, I was just fucking out. When you said mouth leaders, that raised my hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so one thing I noticed whenever this first kicked off, there was a huge fucking gaggle. A single grenade could have took us all out. And I did kind of talk with you about it at one point, but what is the likeliness that if people did show interest learning how to do actual, like, movement techniques, you know, formations that could be beneficial, if people actually, like, you know, put in the effort and mental willpower to learn it?
We're in the training rotation right now, brother.
Yeah,
You're about to experience that.
I'm not fundamentally opposed to those things. My chief concern is that maybe something that becomes an effort in futility because of how spatial awareness works with ARMA. if there is an expressed interest, I have zero issue with guys doing that. But I think it might even be enough to say, and this is a point I was going to yell at you guys, but it was early enough that I didn't want to just start by yelling at you all. But at bare minimum, spacing between teams is important. If you can at least master that concept, I'll take that as a win. And going off what Dean said, you have all heard me
Chris,
yell
go
this
run
at
around
you.
the hangar.
At least anyone who's been in this unit long enough has heard me yell this, that your spacing should be thought of as, if a grenade went off at my feet, would it kill anyone else? And if the answer is yes, you're too close. I've said that to you guys more times than I can think of. It's like it's a reflexive neuron activate phrase for me at this point. So, if you guys are moving into a situation like this, I'm not going to stick up ass about like, well, you weren't actually in formation. But if your 1, 2, and 3 teams are like gaggle fucked on top of each other, like don't do that. And sure, that's something the squad leader should handle with like control measures, but at the same time, like, you're supposed to be an NCO that has like 2 brain cells to rub together. So like, if you realize you're like right on top of the other team, don't do that. Move or wait. Something. Give spacing. Okay.
Very cool.
What do you guys think of this kind of, not everybody's here tonight kind of deal?
Good, but maybe not every week. It seems a bit much, because then it might impact on the rest of the guys.
The Mondays are a one-off for me because it's hard to wake up and go to work the other day.
No, that's fine, but everybody shows up on the weekend. But the point is doing this weekly now, Mariel, is that we're covering all the topics they're going to be teaching this week.
Quinn, good
job.
job.
Just for the training.
You both did well.
Yeah, we decided
this
to
is only for the
take-
training rotation. This
we
is
decided
not
to
something.
take the day to try and teach our NCOs. That's
Yeah,
why we
that's
had
so
left
this
it open
is
for you
something
guys.
that all the NCOs go
You
into
too,
every
Brady
training
and
day
Buckeye.
knowing like what.
That goes
is
without
up.
saying.
That's fair. Yeah, sure.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Chris, for the tier 3 sub.
When do the Chase feet pics come out?
When do they?
When I get that
When we
money
get
in
the
my
shit and
fucking
piss
PayPal.
mod.
Yeah. When is the piss and shit mod?
The same day
No.
I
What
get my
the
RBAs
Okay,
and
so I'm assuming
fucking
we're done.
90s BDs.
We're done.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Done.
Face when Chase doesn't
Good
have
job, everybody.
Nice.
What's up?
Can I start using
There's
my own
a
kit
shipment
now?
behind the house for you.
No, I'm
Guys.
sorry.
Oh no.
No?
No.
Yes.
This one.
It's a very
What do I
bright
do?
light.
You gotta
Yeah, it's
become
just
a
like, I hope it
PFC.
doesn't blind you.
I have cancer in my retinas.
Probably by the end of the training rotation.
No, Kaiser, I heard you. It was on that southern row of houses. And I saw like a helmet bobbing in a 2-story window. And then I hear you go, "Oh, it's just friendlies." And I saw your rifle lower.
What about Joe Initiative?
Oh yeah, I was like, I gotta cover. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
Over there.
I don't mind using this weapon at least. I'm just gonna carry it.
Well, you have to use that weapon.
Well, yeah, I'm saying I don't mind.
I was just a man with a rifle.
Yeah.
Also, Brady, were you the one that named it Taylor
This is
Swift's
the most
house?
important part. Listen, we
No, that was
understand.
Chris.
Was it? Oh, I saw your name on the marker.
Hey, Ray
We
David
just swapped to it.
I changed it
first
from
yeah,
black
yeah,
to blue.
It's our new
talk to
standard
you.
calendar.
Yeah, it's our new standard.
For now, we're
Column.
Is there something
I kept saying
weird
vertical
about
row.
this?
Column is the.
Yo, Brady.
You knew what I meant, though. You knew what I meant.
I chose the wrong road to turn that PTR on, bro.
Well, because I told the teams we took care of the vertical row at Taylor Swift's house, and I'm like, that's not the word.
No, I meant more for like, you know how like
Don't
Don't
do that.
You I was told you just.
What's the
Rule number 1: don't listen to Chris.
Hello.
Alright, anyways.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
My game kept tabbing out. That was very weird.
God damn.
Is Sniper Snipe hello?
Huh?
What a long
You want to do something?
Please.
Has been a long Monday.
Do you want to do something?
Very time sensitive.
Do you want to do something?
Fucking
No.
you guys are fucking
No.
killing me.
Well,
No,
I don't
no.
want to do that.
Gee, it's fucking
Do something
killing me.
else.
Like what?
Have another one ready.
Honestly, fuck those
More
radio
CQB is
messages.
always cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't be nagging you if the deadline wasn't tomorrow.
I already set it up. So.
Wait,
What?
how
Where?
do you go prone
At Bob Jackal,
You got
actually.
hit by a
Second
strobe.
session yet?
Stand up, I'll make it
Huh?
happen.
But you
No,
can't.
no, no,
Declan
no,
gone
no,
in
no, stop
for a
first.
second
Stop,
time
stop,
yet
stop.
in the
No,
Gundam
not
years?
yet.
No.
Maybe
Do you know
Thursday.
about
Oh,
incremental
okay.
stances and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I want to though.
Nah.
So if you hold.
I've been
left
fiending
arm
for more
and
Oh, I
tabletop.
didn't
about
get
to
the, I
send
didn't
you
get the
yours.
fucking
Yeah.
arm flashbang.
Yeah, I know, right?
Try.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
excited.
my up and down ones aren't.
I think the only person missing it is Siraj and maybe
Yo, y'all
Chase.
look like a class of
Oh, they
old
can't
people
make
doing
it?
yoga.
No, Siraj can't, or he didn't vote for it on the
If you lay
thing,
down,
so I assume he
There were
can't.
five
If you go
votes on
play
the
in
vote.
games,
Place when
you can
Dungeons
like
and
get
Dragons
control
is
It was just
on
four.
Holden.
So,
I thought it said
as
5
also.
responses.
You can also
Yeah,
do
5
this one where you sit
oh,
on
well,
your
let me
ass
look.
and like
Like
don't
5
respond.
different
Downward
responders. Here,
facing
I'll
dog.
look.
My quads are burning.
It's quite cool though. We were doing some urban stuff the other week, and Brady was laying like round a corner, peeking a stairway.
Dude, this is like pretty cool.
Some of the AI, well, some of the AI.
No, there's just 4 on Tuesday.
flowers.
It said 6 participants.
Well, yeah, but that's counting me.
I didn't. I guess it was 5 earlier. Savage can't make it.
You only give him 4? You have to do more than that.
He said he was good for it.
He did, but he said his mom's coming home or came home or something, so he might not. But we're still gonna have it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Give him the fucking...
Even with 2 people missing, that's still 3. So
Griffin said.
Griffin said he 99% sure he can make it. In the channel, did he not?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I was double checking. It was like a 50%.
Just marrying it.
Yeah, the way I'll treat it is if more than half of the people won't be there, then we won't do it.
More the other one.
But there's just so many schedules going, like, unless it's like a major story beat.
I'm working on them.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
You're.
I'm gonna
never mind.
miss.
I can't
like
tell you,
2
but yeah.
after.
Yeah, it's
How gonna be gone? 2 weeks?
Yeah, I get back like the.
You might just miss one.
Mustang.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, what was that?
Okay.
Yeah, I get back like the 16th or something.
Power of the sun.
Stand by.
Like a
Palm
day or
of
2
my
after
hand.
that, I moved back to Clemson.
Unreleased
Oh
power.
my god.
Oh my god. I was. Why did I tab in? I was alt tab. I didn't have to listen to this. Oh my god.
I love when y'all make this
Okay.
shit on fun.
What the fuck was that?
Yo, I'm blithe, bro.
I can claim fucking tinnitus on my V8
Alright, well after that, fucking.
Good God. Okay,
I'm
getting
leaving.
off. Goodbye.
Bye, Chase.
You just throw a grenade.
Kind of 1 minute.